John.
It was my fault. I hold my hands up. It was my fault.
How are you anyway, mate?
Too much wine.
Long time no speak.
I'm good. I know, it's been a few days. How have you been?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Just bloody busy. Got loads and loads and loads of work. Can't believe this is my job. Work to do at the moment. So just banging out as many vids as I possibly, well, getting them edited as quick as I can, really, at the moment.
Yeah.
But,
good, though. It's good to be busy.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Shall we crack on with some booze?
Hold on a minute. What have you got?
Well, I drank all my brew dog that was in the fridge, and I forgot to stock it up. Look, you've got it. So I went to my beer fridge.
I went specially to get this.
I've got crates of that in my garage, but I forgot to put them in the fridge so they weren't cold. So I just got stuff out the beer fridge, and someone brought these massive, like,
oh, Stella,
huge bottles of Stella.
Shall I leave you while you go and put your spring vest on?
I'll get a bottle in me, and then I'll have to go and beat my missus up. You know how it is. She kicked the crap out of me.
I'm surprised they never used that as an advertising campaign.
Am I recording? Don't do that. Oh.
Are you not recording?
I wasn't recording the mic audio. I was recording off the camera. So this intro, this whole intro
you're saying about me?
will be crap audio off of the GoPro. But now, welcome, we're on this. So I'll sync this up to that. 1, 2, 3. Right, could you sync yours up again?
Okay. Yep.
Beautiful, thank you.
I can always send my good quality audio over to you.
Jeez, I need a blooming drink now.
Yeah, I think I'll start. I've got some Jack Daniels just in case as well.
Oh my God.
I've only got 4 cans of this, and it comes in child size for some reason.
4 cans. That's about what I do in a podcast. 4 cans.
Oh, is it? We'll have to make it a longer podcast to get the Jack Daniels in then.
But apparently I do drink like a 5-year-old schoolgirl these days, so never mind.
Okay.
This is what I get for having a pop at you and failing technology, isn't it?
Yeah, karma.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Karma is alive and well. Right, dude. Folks, if you have never heard of Mr Fish before, then he is a YouTube motovlogger, and you're pretty active on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, a la social media, aren't you? John and I have done quite a few vids now together. We did a moto cast, didn't we? The one and only on-bike podcast that we tried. So I think were you the first or the second one? I think I did in the podcast series.
No, I haven't done a podcast.
You did the motocast, didn't you? So it was just video. Yeah, it was just video.
Yeah.
It wasn't. We didn't do a podcast version of it.
Think of it as a pilot.
Yeah, well, it kind of was, wasn't it? Yeah, it worked quite well using the old Cardo headsets and stuff. It worked all right, not too bad.
Yeah.
But
it was that good they invented a pandemic just to stop it.
Pretty much, wasn't it? It was literally the following week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I did the Harley Fat Boy review. I did that as a sort of joint thing with John. You were on the was it the Lowrider you were on?
Lowrider.
Lowrider what?
The S means S.
Lowrider S, right?
S.
Gotcha.
Well, S. Whichever way around that is on the screen. Sometimes back.
Right.
That's the gang. I'm going to try the gang sign.
No, don't do that on this.
I'm not gang. So.
Right. Shall we crack on with questions, because we never got anywhere near answering all the questions the last time in a 3-hour podcast, which we've had to trash. So let's crack on.
Yeah. Oh. It was legendary as well.
It was awesome, wasn't it? Best one yet, that. Right, folks, as always, I will go on to the clan over on Patreon. So if you've not checked that out, head to patreon.com/TeapotOne. First question, David Hemmings. To Mr Fish, what was your line of work before your channel?
Same as it is now. Train driver. Tube driver, London Underground, most hated person in London.
No, you're not. No. Old Bill, mate. Old Bill. Most hated people on the planet.
I suppose so, yeah. You trumped me on that one. We're kind of up there. Well, we will be hated soon. We've just balloted for strike.
Oh, God. Well, you need another pay rise.
No, they're trying to take everything away.
Oh, are they?
Boris, it's getting political already, isn't it? Boris has kind of got us in his pocket now with the bailout. So he's got a personal thing against London Underground drivers.
Oh, blimey.
Trying to come in a little bit heavy, I think.
Right.
But only time will tell.
So basically,
we won't go into that.
What you're saying is, people, get your push bikes or motorbikes out, or Shanks's pony.
Yeah, no, get back on the trains, because if we don't start making money soon, it's still dead.
Oh, okay.
If we don't start making money soon, they're going to have to really trim back.
Blimey.
Could be a little. Well, it got deep early, didn't it? It got very somber.
It did. Shall we?
I mean, I don't really care. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and you deal with it as it comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Absolutely. It's all.
I think
it's all a bit doom and gloom in it. Let's try and avoid that.
Yeah, but I think the thing was, thank you very much for thinking, no, dude, this is a professional.
Yeah, it seems to be a running sort of theme from all the questions that we were going through on Thursday. A lot of people seem to think that John's actually full-time YouTuber, which is great. It speaks volumes about the quality of your channel. But you're not. You're a working man, just like almost everybody else out there.
That's right. Yeah, I only really do one day a week, filming, and then edit the rest of the week, or try and fit it in the evenings or around, trying to keep the wife happy.
Good luck.
So fail miserably most days. So yeah, I'm a part-timer that fakes it as a full-timer. There you go. But I'm actually a train driver.
It's blooming hard work, though. I look back now and I think, how the hell did I manage that? Just, putting a lot of hours in with a full-time job and still trying to churn out vids, because now it's my full-time job, and it's a struggle. Yeah. It's a struggle just to churn the vids out now. So I don't know how I fitted it in around normal life before.
Well, so your editing's higher quality than mine. Mine's a bit more cut and shut.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to not dumb down. That's the wrong word. But I'm trying to be more economic with my editing, because I
simplify it a bit.
Yeah, I used to waste days over tiny things that most people out there would never ever notice. And he was talking with Andy, actually, Missing in Flyer, and he was just like, look, just. Because he won't mind me saying this, but he's got a very basic editing skill or repertoire. Yet he's got the highest subs and the highest views out of any of our sort of motovloggy group. Yeah, and I think he's actually got more views than the likes of 44 Teeth and people like that. He's got amazingly high vids, and he churns out the content. So the man knows what he's talking about, to be perfectly honest. So I'm trying to speed everything up.
You can keep the quality up just with that. People don't really notice the fancy stuff anyway. Well, they just don't notice it. Yeah. I mean, you will, I will, and people that do YouTube will. You think, oh, I like that, but if I play some of my videos where I've really gone to town with the music, with reversing stuff, sort of like dropping all sort of like the special effects into the music and that. My missus will watch it. She hasn't got a clue. She hasn't noticed any of that. Yeah. Or she calls it too much faff.
yeah, absolutely. Ditch the faff. Right, well, that's question one. That's the first hour, question one. So...
sorry. Yeah, let's fire off.
I'm as bad, mate. Jamie Dollery, will you ask Mr Fish what made him change from an adventure bike, which he loved, to a naked bike? And is he happy he made the change?
Yes, I'm happy for now. When winter comes, that might be a different story.
For now.
It'd be a completely different animal in the rain. But for now, I think instead of answering this question really long, should I answer the long version, or should I just divert them to the video saying, did I make a mistake? CB1000R on my channel.
Yeah, you've done the vid, haven't you?
Basically, yeah, I've done a vid explaining exactly why I came to having that bike. So it's a risk, and it's a risk because the problems I've got with my neck. Doesn't make sense to most people because I've got, I said this last time, I have to do it before I start drinking, degenerative disc disease. So basically sciatica, but at the top of my neck. So the discs crumbling, bones sit on the nerves, nerve endings down to the hand, lose the feeling in the hand, pain, numbness. that sort of thing. Anyway, that again is what it is. You've got to deal with it. So I thought this might be my last chance at a naked bike. So I thought I'd go for it and see if it helps me out in a weird way. Again, watch the video rather than go to it on the air, because we've got loads of questions to get through, which I'm shocked at, to be honest. I thought it'd just be they're all by me, by the way. I wrote them all in different names. But
it's great. It's all content. It's all content.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a risk, and it was out of a few bikes, but it was a good deal. I wanted the challenge, and yes, I liked it.
Awesome. And John goes into way more depth on the vid on his channel. So once you've watched this or listened to this, head to John's channel. There'll be links down below, and you can watch that vid. Next question.
Yeah.
Matt Rowe Designs. How you doing, Matt? John, how is the logo design going? And did you fancy joining the rest of the squad for a Crazy Horse meetup post-COVID? Logo design?
Right. Logo design, Matt was on board. We were designing a logo together. And then, not unfortunately, fortunately, whatever. Anyway, it didn't happen in the end because I was going down the graffiti road. I used to be a graffiti artist. And then I decided I wanted to go old school graffiti. And being of that ilk, that sort of old school, you have to do it yourself. So I wanted to design it myself. It hasn't happened yet because I haven't got enough time to do anything. But it will happen. So I will design a new logo at some point. But it's going to be designed by me. And then I can I don't know, I could just get on with it and do my own thing with it.
Cool.
It's a lot easier. So sorry, Matt. I bailed on him, basically.
Yeah, Matt did my my clan members sticker. If you have like the $5 a month tier and above, you get this special clan member sticker, and Matt designed that. So cheers, Matt. And he asked, did you fancy joining the rest of the squad for the Crazy Horse meetup? You weren't actually involved in all of that before, but basically myself, TMF and Lamb Chops so far. I don't think Rich has managed yet, but we've started doing stuff with Crazy Horse, you know, the dealership franchise? Well, the dealership, sorry. And we were taking some of their MV Augustas and things like that out, and we're looking at doing a few more things in the Indians and all that sort of stuff as well in the future. They're talking about the possibility of maybe doing some sort of meet-up at one of their showrooms, their dealerships, probably the Bury St Edmunds one, I think, because it's got the really good calf. So we could have a chat with them and get you up involved with that. But I'm
down for that, as long as I've got enough notice to get the day off. So I work most weekends, but as long as I've got enough notice, I'm down for that.
Cool. I've no idea when we're looking, whether it's going to be this year or next. I think realistically probably next year at this rate. But you never know. We might salvage something out of this year.
Well, the two big meetups have been cancelled this year, haven't they?
Yeah.
Huge ones.
Oh, yeah, your one and Richie's.
Oh, yours? Yeah, no, they're both mine.
Oh, yeah, the beginning and end.
Beginning and end. I'm preempting the end of season. It's not going to happen either.
That shows you how.
Richie's gutted about that. I was going to go. I really wanted to go to the Wild Bad Weekender.
Mate, it's brilliant. It's such a good weekend. It really is a good laugh. He puts a lot of graft into that as well.
It looks a good one.
Yeah, that's actually the last time we met up to do the motocast. That was just before your beginning of season meetup, wasn't it? Because we were chatting about that in the vid.
Yeah, and then I cancelled it about 2 days. Well, I was speaking to people in Italy, and they just said it's locking now. They were ahead of us with lockdown, and I just thought, I'm not being responsible for this.
Yeah,
just shut it down.
Absolutely. It's weird, isn't it, to look back to those days, and we were all like, a month, this will be over and done with, and go move on.
Yeah, that's it.
6 months down the line, we're still blooming. We're still in it. Well, never mind. Right, this will cheer us all up. Pete English. Out of all the normal negative emotions the human has, greed, anger, jealousy and hate, which one would you say affects you the most?
Do I have to narrow it down to just one?
Do what you like, mate. Do what you like. This is a free country, this podcast. Say what you like.
Anger. anger. That's the one. Every now and again, a little bit of anger.
Yeah.
Only on my bike, though. Only when I'm on my bike, depending on the situation. I think I've said to you before, I used to have quite a few road rage videos.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
you
I've
did, yeah.
deleted, I think, how many, 600,000 views worth of road rage videos.
Jesus.
From when I started. Because when I started YouTube, I started after a crash. So every time someone cut me up, I was a bit overreactive.
Yeah.
And then I looked back at myself and thought, you look like a dick. So I just deleted them all because I didn't want to be known as the dick on a bike and just shout to everyone. And now I'm a happy guy that rides a cub. How did that change?
Mate, maturity. Maturity. What can we say?
I know. But out of those 5, yeah, definitely anger's the one that comes up every now and again. But usually when it's a knee-jerk reaction to a little bit of fear, I think, on the bike.
Yeah.
But the rest, I haven't really got any of the rest.
I think I'm pretty much the same, really. I'm very much a chilled out sort of chap now, and I sort of purposely always try to look at the positive, but every now and then I find myself, and I remember doing this in my old job. You feed off of other people sometimes, don't you? And if other people are really negative and having a bitch and moan, believe it or not, the old Bill liked to moan, and it just sort of, you feed off each other, and before you know it, you're moaning and bitching about everything, and it's like all of a sudden you hear yourself, don't you? And you're just like, shut up, you moany bugger. So now I very much try to always take the positive spin on it and just keep going. Yeah. But every now and then. Every now and then it gets the worst of me.
But you got to vent every now and again. I tend to do the rant videos on my channel. That gets it out of my system a little bit. If I do that, it's fine.
Yeah, definitely.
But now, it's to say, I bought the Honda Cub. I just can't be angry with anyone on that because you look ridiculous. So it's pointless.
Isn't it?
No one's ever been angry on there.
Isn't it great riding the smaller bikes? I'd never done it. I'd only ever ridden a 125 from a CBT, and then I think it was a 500cc from a DAS, and then from that I went straight onto a Gixxer 600, and from that onto the Gixxer 1000s, and boff, that was the lowest cc I think I rode of my own bike.
Okay.
And then I took out the Sinus Terrain 125cc adventure bike. I took that out a few months ago, and I absolutely loved it. Excuse me. Loved it.
Yeah. So, they're great. It's great to get back to just riding.
Yeah.
There's no, I think you can relax more on them because you're not thinking as fast as you do on a fast bike.
Yeah.
You are literally just chilling out, and it's just great. I just love them. I don't know whether I could live with one just as an only bike. Actually, saying that I probably could with the Cub, but yeah, I don't know if I could live with one as an only bike.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
As an alternative like mindset, it's a nice place to go to.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's kind of where I stand with electric at the moment. I really do like electric, but I couldn't just have an electric bike. There's still too many restrictions on it, and I still love me petrol bikes. I still love the noise and the smell and the practicality of petrol. But, you know, it's going to come when, probably in our lifetime, where we'll not be able to ride them en masse anymore. So I'm not that worried about it anymore, having tried the electric. They're a lot of fun.
Well, I know no matter what happens in my life, apart from the inevitable at the end, as long as it doesn't happen prematurely, we'll be fine. But I know if you said to me next year we've only got 125 scooters, that's the law, I could still have a good time. So I'm pretty chilled out about that.
Cool.
The rest is just a bonus.
Right. Next one, Jolene.
I'm lying, of course.
yeah. Straight out, buy yourself a great big 1.8, a Triumph Rocket 2.3 litre. Let's go for it.
Yeah, that's it. H2.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Cracker H2.
Next question, Jolene Darren Edwards. Hi, both of you. Bruce knows that the Nürburgring and the surrounding area is one of our favourite places for my wife and I to visit. I'm wondering if you have ever visited and done a lap, and if so, what do you think?
No. Never been to the Nürburgring, never done a lap, never ridden in Germany.
This disgusted me. When you said this on Thursday, this disgusted me. I can't believe you've never ridden in Germany.
Never. I've never ridden to the border of Germany. I've been to Austria, but not on a bike. That's about as close as I got.
So have you only ever ridden a bike in the UK and the States?
And France, Belgium.
All right, you've done France and Belgium, right.
But never had the opportunity to really explore. I only started traveling, doing exploring in 2016 when I had the opportunity to go to America. Mm-hmm. And I sort of like went big on the first time with a road trip. That was half car, half bike.
Went big early.
Family. Yeah, and then that gave me the confidence to do it. So, yeah, I'll ignore that. And that gave me the confidence. So I didn't really have confidence to travel by myself. I haven't really got a lot of confidence.
You were saying that
more now.
Yeah. You were saying that you sort of consciously decided to go on that trip to the States and arranged to meet up with like some of the biggest motovloggers in the world. You went to one of their big old social gatherings, didn't you? And you said you did that specifically to push yourself out of your comfort zone and make yourself get out there and be social. That's a ballsy thing to do, man.
I kind of needed to do it because I'm the sort of person that won't dance on the dance floor. I won't get up to dance on the dance floor, but if you drag me there, I'll be there all night sort of thing. Yeah. It's that first step. I really struggle with that first step, especially when there's people you don't know. So with the America trip, I booked it based around the Southern California motovlogger meetup organised by a guy called Suburban Delinquent.
Yeah.
So I sent a few messages over, I'm coming over, and I knew I've been speaking to some of the smaller YouTubers, and they said, "Oh, come over." And I don't think anyone really thought I was coming over. But in the end, I came over, and there was a rumour that I was coming over. And I remember texting them on the Friday night, which is the day before the meetup. And I said, "Oh, I'm here. I'm up in the hotel." And they said, "Come down. We're staying at this hotel." So I went down and I met Baker X Derrick, Suburban Delinquent was there, Snowcat was there. I think Jake the Garden Snake was there that year. And a few others. And they made me feel so welcome. It was unreal. Even to the point where Suburban Delinquents took us all out to dinner, and then we went to a nightclub. Oh, and EM187 was there as well. I don't know if you know him. There's quite a few there, and we all ended up in this. I ended up in this nightclub till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, drunk in a sandstorm. There was a sandstorm as well, and everyone's going home. And I walked home because I'm English. And they were like, "Oh, what are you going to do?" And I went the wrong way. It took me 2 hours walking in a sandstorm to get home. But what a great night. Lovely bunch of lads and lasses.
Oh, yeah. Enough said about that. Wives might be watching.
Yeah. No, not in that sense. I mean, that's in a group of people.
Yeah, do you remember Smo? It was a British motovlog from where was he from? The Isle of Wight, wasn't he? Or isn't he?
He's from the Isle of Wight, yeah.
Yeah, he went over, didn't he?
Meetups. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he stay with Chase?
I think he stayed with Chase on 2 wheels, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Chase, yeah.
What happened to Smo?
He was on my Twitter today.
Oh.
I think he's going to make a comeback. I think he got out of it to concentrate on something else. So I don't know what.
He had a thing with work, didn't he?
Making a comeback. Yeah, so I think he's coming back slowly. He's getting back in. I've seen more active tweets from him lately.
Yeah.
He's a real nice guy. He came to one of my meetups, one of the first ones. He rode up from the Isle of Wight in the pissing rain. So fair play.
Good man.
On his Triumph. With his missus on the back.
Bloody hell! Yeah, I chatted with Smo a couple of years ago. Actually, I was gonna head to the Isle of Wight and hopefully meet up with him, but my work got in the way, and his work got in the way, and he sort of stopped doing any of his vids really. So that was the end of that. But if he's coming back, it would be great to meet up with him. I used to like watching his vids.
I think so. I haven't had him confirm it or say he's coming back, but it's just. He seems to be more socially active now. So hopefully, because I liked his stuff. It was really good.
Smo, if you're watching this, you've got to come back. Fish has said.
Yeah, he's got no choice.
That's it.
I'll slap your backside.
The fish has spoken. Right, so Nürburgring, when are we going?
Whenever you want. Let's go now.
When's your next day off?
Tomorrow.
Right, let's go tomorrow.
I might need it though.
I might need it. Good point. Can we go to Germany at the moment? Are we allowed to Germany? Oh, we can't. We can't get through France just now.
I've got 2 weeks off in September, middle of September.
Well, I'm supposed to be.
I'm going to keep the UK thing then.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be in the Picos middle of September for a week, but I can't see that happening at the moment. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, you got the 2 weeks, haven't you? When you get back now.
Well, the first week. Oh yeah, the quarantine. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna. The trip won't happen if quarantine's still in place, because obviously the punters that are coming away, they've got to book time off work, so there's no way they'll get another 2 weeks on top of the week away. Yeah. So yeah, it may well be we'll just have to cancel that. Gutted. And then all I've got left is a week in the Canaries, which was my May Picos trip. I managed to reschedule for a week over in the Canaries, so I just hope that goes ahead. Otherwise, it's
fingers crossed.
Total washout of tours for the year. But oh well, It is what it is. Anyway, so Nürburgring, we're going to be doing that. It's a date.
At some point.
Come on,
very slowly.
Come on, you'd love it. You would love it.
Shall I do it on the cub?
Mate, yes. Do you want to take a couple of? Shall we? I'll get a little bike as well, and we'll do a little bike ride. Oh, there you go.
What's going to happen, didn't you?
Someone's going to nick
it.
Be
slammed up the backside by a polo. That's what's going to happen.
Someone's going to nick our
idea. That's not
euphemism,
by the way.
Mate, what? 125 cc's to the Nürburgring.
Anyway, if anyone does, there's probably a limit. Actually, it's probably a law. There's got to be a law.
You can take anything on the Nürburgring. Anything can go on the Nürburgring as long as it's got an engine. Well, it used to. I went there 2011. Maybe that's changed. We'll check it out. If you can, and someone does it before we do, you're vermin. You've nicked our idea. Remember that, folks.
Yeah. Just tell everyone it's our idea.
Right.
Put it out there.
Mate, tomorrow we're taking a couple of 125s to Nürburgring. Let's do it. Yeah. That'll be a great crack.
You know what's going to happen? Someone's going to come back and go, about 3,000 people have done it already.
Yeah, more likely. Yeah. Oh, well. Right, okay, Nürburgring. I'm excited about that.
Crack on.
Nick Turnbull.
Yeah, crack on. We're worse on this one than the last one.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Inside tracks.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's probably, we're now 8 hours into it. What time is it?
Yeah, something like that.
It's only, 26 minutes of recording audio, but obviously there was about half an hour before that. Nick Turnbull, greetings both. I loved bikes since 16. However, I live near a bypass and I remember this one, and get woken up every Sunday morning at 6 a.m. with the sound of screaming four-strokes breaking the sound barrier. So my question to you both is, what bike makes the best sound, and do you think we're heading for more restrictions on noise? Is it antisocial or just something we have to accept?
I think we asked this. Best sounding bike for me was my Africa Twin or that Lowrider S.
Mm-hmm.
And are we heading for more restrictions? 100%. And 2, don't buy a house. That was 3, wasn't it? 3. I'm good at counting.
C.
Quick math. And 8. Where was I? 3. Don't buy a house so close to a bloody road.
Good point. For me, best sounding bike, Aprilia Tuono V4 or the RS V4. Just that Aprilia V4 engine, I think, is the sexiest engine on the planet. Phenomenal. Closely followed, I would think, by the Yamaha R1 engine, the cross-plank. Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous. That's at full chat.
Gorgeous, governor.
Gorgeous,
governor.
Yeah, you're totally right. I think there are going to be lots of noise restrictions coming our way. I think even though we're now allegedly out of the EU, that's a big thing over in France and Germany now. I think it's spreading all around over there. They're bringing in lots of noise abatement orders and restrictions and stop in Germany. There's roads that you can't ride on a certain roads you can't ride on a Sunday, and there's all sorts over there. I can see that coming over here. To be honest, we've got those noise cameras now, don't we? So you automatically get a fine in the post if if they go sort of officially live across the mainstream, that'll hit a lot of people in the pocket.
I kind of get it. But it's a shame, but I kind of get it. And I think it's not predominantly always to do with bikes. I think the cars have got a lot louder now. So I was saying to you the other day, those shitty little cars with those loud exhausts with that crack between the gears when they back off the throttle. It's like a machine gun. It's like, oh, stop drawing attention to yourself. You look like a dick.
See, I think there's a time and a place. I think if you're doing it out on the nationals, what's the problem? What is the problem? But if you're doing it in towns and villages, then you're a dickhead. It's definitely, anyone.
I think that's the problem. There's a minority doing it in the villages and the slower areas. I think in a town, a city, a loud exhaust is a lifesaver.
Gotcha.
I really do. And but when you go, as you say, nationals, motorways, go for it. But if you're in rural areas, just tone it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite simple, really. But not everyone does, and I think that's the problem. It's the minority fucking it up for the rest of us.
This makes me laugh because the second I said that about, just tame it in towns and villages, revving your engine and stuff. As soon as I said it, I started thinking
of the Harley.
Oh, Harley bit. When all we did whilst we were riding around Sleepy Surrey was going, pulling the clutch and going, wham, 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 because they sounded amazing. Sorry, we're probably the reason we're all going to get shitty exhausts.
Count. It's not your bike. It doesn't count.
God.
It wasn't us that put the exhaust on. It's the irresponsible owners.
Loud cans save lives. That's what I'm saying, and I'll stick to it.
Yeah, definitely, especially in a city.
Yeah. Next one, Alex Warren. Should my year-old wife take up biking so we can tour together?
Easy. If you don't get on with her, no.
Yeah, definitely.
If you do get on with her, no. No, I don't know. It depends whether you want to pillion or ride.
Yeah, I think it's quite cool when you see couples, however they're made up. When you see people out together who, are both riding their own bikes, I think that's really quite cool. Yeah. So you get your sort of you get your own little space and time on your bike, don't you? But then you also get to share something together. But there are times, aren't there? I mean, there's times when I go away on the bike and I just want to be away from everybody. I don't want, whether it's my missus or my best mate, I don't want anyone near me. I just want my time out on the bike. Yeah. So I think
that's it does work. I mean, it is the beauty of a bike as well, that you can go out with someone but still be alone. If that makes sense. As long as you're not intercommed up, you're both out, but you're not talking to each other. And I quite like that as well.
Yeah.
So, and if you get one of those, you can talk to her, but if you don't want to talk to her, you can claim it's broke.
That's Cardo Pack Talk Bold, by the way. So if you head to the Teapot, in fact, just message me, info@TeapotOne, or contact me through the social media, and I will send you a link for, I think it's now 15% off the entire Cardo range. Used to be 20, but they've reduced it to 15. Anyway.
That's where you superimpose it on the teeth.
Yeah, I know, I probably will. So Alex, down to you, mate, really.
Speaking of wives, I'm going to text to see if I can get another beer. Carry on.
If I can get another beer. Am I allowed another beer?
If she will bring me a beer, not if I'm allowed one.
That's it. We met the lovely Mr Fish on the original podcast that we filmed on Thursday, didn't we? She might not come on camera this time.
You just called her Mr Fish.
I didn't. I said Mrs Fish.
I'm sure you just said Mr Fish.
Jesus. I've seen your wife. She's definitely not a Mr Fish. That's all we're saying on that one.
I've seen her as well.
Right, lamb shop rides. Can you ask Mr Fish if Mr Pooh is doing okay since his accommodation was downgraded? Do tell.
Yes, he's living a lovely life. He says how much better he's having a time now than he was before. Hold on. There's a fly in here. mention Mr. Pooh and a fly turns up. Yeah, basically, for people that don't know, Mr. Pooh is a squidgy poo toy like the emoji, and it's doing the rounds between myself, Lamb Chops. I think Pippa Jones has had it, I'm not sure. But at the moment, it's stuck behind the screen of my CRF 250, and it is living the high life. He's living that high life. He prefers me to Chopsy, to be honest. That's what he says.
No doubt. No doubt. He's a horrible man, Chopsy. Yeah. Horrible. What's Hippodrome like? I've chatted to him loads, but I've never actually met him face to face. Seems a top lad. Hello, Mrs. Fish.
He called you Mr. Fish, by the way.
Don't you start stirring.
Pete's lovely guy. Absolutely lovely.
Lovely.
How to explain to someone? He's lovely. He's lovely.
It was his vids. Nice, it was his vids actually that got me into the 360. I saw some of his vids when he was using the Insta 360, where he was getting like footage of him riding a bike. I was like, that's amazing. How'd you do that?
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, Pete, you cost me about £400 when I bought the Insta 1X.
Yeah, Pete's got every camera going.
Yeah.
He looks at it takes him about 6 hours to get moving. He has to sync everything up with a clap. It's like going out with a bunch of seals. And then eventually gets going. The last time he went going and he fell off and broke his hand.
No, did he?
Yeah, he fractured his hand when he was on the beta.
Whoops. Oh well, it happens, doesn't it? It happens.
I might have laughed at him a little bit in the last video I did when I mentioned it, but this fly is trying to get in on the act. Do you want the fly on the podcast?
Yeah, why not? The more the merrier. As long as he subscribes, or she.
It's part of the Patreon.
Paul Benson, I have taken the plunge and decided no more PCP. I think he's talking about the finance deal, not the drug. I already own my Triumph Speedy RS, which was always going to be a keeper. I've now decided to pay off my GS 1250 HP, best bike in the world. This obviously means I won't be able to change for some time, a condition imposed by my good wife. What are your thoughts? What, on the fact that your wife's telling you what you can and cannot buy?
Or that you own a GS.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the GS. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the GS.
There is nothing wrong with the GS. I'm sure I love it when I get to that age.
Dick.
I've only ridden one, the 1200, and that was an astonishing bike. PCP, brilliant if you change your bikes every 2-3 years.
Yep.
It enables you to get a bike far beyond you can afford, really. And as long as you keep it in good nick and don't muck around with it too much, you can keep changing it. But if you can afford it, just buy it outright. But PCP I like for bikes that I know I'm not going to keep.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. It's exactly what I do. I never, well, so far, the only bike I've ever bought and kept is the Beast, the Gixxer Thou that I took around the world. Did I tell you I've ridden around the world, John?
Oh, hold on. We're 42 minutes into it. And we've just mentioned GS and round the world at the same point. Shocking.
Ding, ding! There should be a little scorecard up there.
This is where the views drop.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And everyone switches off. Yeah. That's the only bike I've ever bought outright was my Gixxer Thou. And that was purely because, I was taking it on the trip, so I didn't think it would be a good idea to take a PCP bike away and bring it back with 102,000 miles on the clock. So
there's probably no guaranteed value
for that. No. I'm the same. I always get PCP just because it allows me to get a bike, that I could never afford normally. It would take me forever to save up to buy, the 18 grand to save up and buy a GS, whereas I could just pay my monthly fee and I've got one. And every 2 or 3 years I chuck it in and get a new one. So, yeah, for me, great. Awesome. But yeah, as you said, there's certain restrictions. You sign up and say that at the end of that term when you either pay an agreed amount and then the bike then becomes yours, or you have to keep it below a set amount of miles and then you can just hand the bike back and that's that. What's up? You look like...
No, you had a fly on your screen then.
Yeah, there's I had to open my window because this.
I thought my fly had somehow teleported to your screen. Literally, the fly here flew towards the iPad, and then it appeared on your side of the screen. It was weird.
You were like, "Shit, man,
this is good.
This
stuff.
is some good beer." What did Mrs. Fish put in this beer?
Probably arsenic.
Just slowly increase the dosage.
Yeah, slowly. Munchausen's.
Yeah. All right, next question. Yorkshire Biker 93. 1. You accidentally ate some radioactive vegetables. This has endowed you, with a superpower of your choice. What would it be and why? Oh, I can't remember. Did we answer this one last time?
Vegetables. No. Yeah, we did. And I said that weird. I stole it off someone, didn't I? So I'd heard someone say it before, and they wanted the ability to make people shit themselves on the kill. Because they said there's no comeback from that whatsoever. It doesn't matter what the situation is. If you're shitting yourself, there is no answer. You can't fight. You can't do anything.
That's genius.
Best superpower ever. I heard it. I don't know who said it. It might have been a comedian or something. But it just made me laugh.
I forgot this question from when we originally filmed this. What did I say? I can't remember.
Oh, I got the fly.
Ninja, Mr. Miyagi. Just give you some chopsticks.
Wax on, wax off.
What's on? What? Oh, wax. Wax on.
Just discussing my legs routine.
I can't remember what superpower I said I'd have, and I can't think of one at the moment.
You said fly.
Flying, that was it, yeah.
You said fly, yeah.
I believe I can fly.
Oh, I wouldn't start singing R. Kelly songs.
It's like having it's like having Dickie Vegas in the room.
Yeah. I won't go down the R. Kelly route at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's something naughty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scrub that.
Now within jingled. No, it's enough. Can you guess what it is yet? No, that's wrong. Mine was fly, definitely. And why? Just because you're flying, man. It's cool. Question 2 from Yorkshire Biker. You meet a stranger on the street who says that he will turn you into any animal of your choosing, and you have to pick one. What would it be? I don't think we did this one last time. So you meet a stranger, he'll turn you into any animal.
We did. And we couldn't decide whether it's an animal we like or an animal we want to be.
I'd be a lion.
I know what you said.
Did I say lion?
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And then you said something else to do with hairy men.
A bear. A grizzly bear. That's right. We did.
That's what you said. What did I say?
I think I was on my 3rd can of Brewdog by that point.
Yeah. I didn't have enough polished off a bottle of wine by then. I wanted to be... What was I?
Unicorn.
Definitely wasn't a unicorn. Maybe a cat. So then I can lick myself. No, I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I don't know. Haddock.
Fish. Cat. I could be a fish. Not an animal, though. It's a fish.
What, a fish isn't an animal? What school did you go to?
No. Well, it's a fish, isn't it? Not a mammal. It's kind of an animal. Like
he didn't say mammal. He said an animal.
Animal. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be a fish because I'm already a fish. So I've got to be something else. So I'll be a cat because they just seem to live the life.
Cool.
That's my life. But I'd like to live like that. It's like a teenage kid, isn't it? For your whole life. Sleep and eat. That's it.
John wants to be a unicorn. That's that for that then. Unicorn. Right.
I've been known. It's been known.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Ben Tiffin, my question is simple to the both of you. You've just had a lovely 2-hour Sunday ride out. You arrive at a cafe for a bit of lunch. What do you order? Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah, because you started off.
It's food.
Didn't it?
It's food.
What did I start off with?
I think you said egg and chips or something. I
said egg and chips, and you slaughtered me for it.
Of course.
Like I'm some kind of weirdo.
Go, blimey, governor.
But then I changed it
You didn't?
You arrived slightly early and I went for sausage bap. No.
Yeah, only because of what I said. And I said, bacon and egg bap. Bosh.
Oh, yeah, you said bacon. And then I went, oh, yeah, baps. We started thinking about baps, didn't we?
Exactly. You can't beat baps.
And you know, when you get to a cafe and the baps are out, there's nothing better.
You've just brought this down to your own smutty level. There's no need for that. This is a highbrow podcast.
I'm talking about sausage and baps. That's all I'm talking about.
Got sausage on the brain. John Boycott.
With some sauce.
How did you two first meet, and what is your favourite shared memory? Something to do with sausage,
A24,
baps, and a unicorn.
It's A24 lay-by.
That's right.
Dogging convention in 19...
How did we get onto this lay-by on the A24? A24 came up. I don't know how it came up.
I don't know. It came up though.
Just no.
Right. Anyway, let's get back to the actual question.
How did we first meet?
I first met you.
I think you were stalking
at
me.
The London Motorcycle Show. London Motorcycle Show. I think I
constantly asking me to sign stuff.
Yeah, you never did though. I said I was going to come down and buy a book off you, and I turned up. You were there. I spoke to you, and I said I'm just going to do a tour of the show.
This was at one of the bike shows, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at the London Motorcycle Show in
London.
Docklands, wherever it is. Yeah. Oh, there's lots of arenas though, isn't there? Quite a big place, London. So I said I'll do a tour of the show, and then I'll come back and buy the book. And you went, yeah, all right, there. And then you fucked off.
Because everyone says that, and no one ever comes back.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of here. So then I made it a mission to buy. So I bought one online off you.
Thank you very much. That's very kind.
Man. One day I'll even read it.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. It's crap. It's not worth it.
I mean, I'm at least 3/4 of the way for it, and there's not one mention of Charlie Borman or Ewan McGregor.
Listen, those two blokes, fair play to them. They get a lot of stick, Borman and McGregor. But I tell you what, I wouldn't have done my trip if it wasn't for them, to be perfectly honest.
No, I get it, yeah.
So I didn't.
They gave me the interest into adventure bikes.
Yeah.
I have to say, they did.
I didn't know anything.
They made it mainstream.
I knew nothing about, the greats like Ted Simon and Austin Vance and all these people, Jacques Lucassen. I didn't know anything about them until I sort of saw the long way round and then started looking into adventure bike travel, and that just led me into that whole world. Yeah. Fair play to them.
I watched that, and then I think the first ever book I bought on adventure travel was Jupiter's Travel.
Was it?
Ted Simon. Yeah, and then I bought so many books after that because I figured if I can't go away, I can go away with someone else. If that makes sense.
No,
they
absolutely.
Can take you away,
yeah.
And I like that, getting lost in someone else's adventure.
Yeah.
If I can't go away, I'll get lost in someone else's.
There's
even yours. Even yours. Have you told them you've been around the world yet?
I don't know if I've mentioned it. I rode a bike around the world. Yeah.
No, not just any bike. Tell them what bike.
It's just the ultimate best bike in the world, a GSX R1000.
There you go.
Yeah, bosh.
I never knew that. I'm glad you brought that
up. Prick. What was it? Oh yeah, have you read Dan Walsh's book? These are the days that must happen to you.
I've read. Dan Walsh sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was a bike journal.
He's got more than one book, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's done quite a few.
Is he the guy that rode around on the GS after getting drunk at the Christmas party?
Oh, I didn't think he took a GS. I can't remember.
There's one journalist that did it. He rode round the world because he got drunk at a Christmas party and said to everyone he's riding around the world, but he didn't even have a bike license. And then he did it again, and he had to cycle around the UK because he did exactly the same thing a few years later.
Bloody hell, who's that?
Or is Dan Walsh the guy that got stuck in South America for ages?
Yeah, he got stuck in South America for a long time.
Right, yeah. Now I know the one.
Yeah.
Now I know the one.
I would love to chat with Dan Walsh, actually. I'd like to try and get him on here.
Can you see that? Look at that.
Is that your fly?
I am a ninja.
You murderer. They're all God's little animals. Shush.
Still alive. It's on the screen now. I didn't even harm him.
Still alive. He's just
an iPad screen.
He's just sleeping, children. He's just sleeping.
It's on the bloody screen now. He's actually sitting on your beard.
Leave him alone.
We're getting sidetracked again.
What's our favourite shared memory?
Podcast on the other day.
I know, I think it will, yeah. What's our favourite shared memory? Don't think I've ever had a good time with you, actually, so I wouldn't know.
No, there isn't one.
Favourite we've not done our off-roading yet, have we? We'd agreed that you'd kindly agreed to go and do some off-roading with me, hold my hand, and I have a little bike coming my way fairly soon. Leave it alone. Eat it. No, don't eat it.
It keeps flying. Well, it's a fly.
Clues in the name. And I've got a little bike coming my way and I want to take that off-road, so hopefully we'll get that done.
We're going to do that.
Smash.
No doubt.
Outside of that, what's our favourite shared memory? We've always had a giggle, haven't we? A couple of times that we've gone out and had a ride, we always have a giggle.
I like the way you're struggling.
Yeah, we do though, don't we? We just laugh all the time when we're out.
It's just a general, I don't know. It's just funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a crap.
We just gotta be stupid, basically. We revert to our teenage selves.
The last podcast that we did together, you know, the one where all your equipment didn't work and we've had to redo it now, that was probably the best time we've ever had. And we can't share it with anybody because your equipment failed. You've got like an 1806 GoPro and some cheap Chinese knockoff adapter.
Guarantee that this one's going to work.
But I've got the fail-safe. I've got the zoom. So at the very least, we'll have the zoom.
This camera here, I actually look better on this camera than my own one, so I might keep this one, because this one's blurred and it makes me look younger.
I was going to say, is that one blanked out, is it? Or what?
Yeah, that one's up there. But that's high definition. I like this low definition stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem with Zoom. It's crap quality, isn't it? And there's the audio is crap as well. I don't like it. But anyway.
Well, I can send you the audio from this if it works.
Yeah, exactly. If it works. Please do. Yeah. Right, let's crack on next one. Pete Morris. Oh, there's another one. Look, what is the best and worst part of what you guys now do for a living? Another one that thinks you're a full-time YouTuber.
Right. The best part. I'll start off with the worst.
Right.
No, what is the worst part? The worst part about doing YouTube is trolls.
Mm-hmm.
People slagging off you, not constructively, just for the sake of it. If you can't deal with the trolls, you probably should never ever do any social media. I just feel sorry for them in the end. That's the way I look at trolls. I feel sorry for them. They want their 10 seconds of whatever. It makes them feel good if they can bully someone else. Actually, let's just scrub the word trolls, bullies.
Yeah.
That's all they are. That's all they want to do is bully someone for a second. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dicks. And they look like dicks, to be honest. Everyone knows in the comment section that they're dicks. Mm. Everyone knows.
It's sort of got like that now, isn't it? It's almost like they're that drunk person at the party that just says something ridiculous and people just ignore them. That's kind of how it is now, isn't it, online? Yeah. But
I don't mind constructive criticism. Mm-hmm. I don't mind that at all because it's feedback and you might learn something.
Yeah.
But just slagging something off just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
It's like, I had that one, I hate your voice. It's like, well, press mute or fuck off, I think is what I replied. And that's about it. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? It's my voice. I'm not going to speak like Joe Pasquale, am I? Just for you.
Do a vid in a totally different accent. Just see. Give it a bash and see.
I put that robot or something. That robot. Put an effect on it.
Your views and subs go through the roof, and then you're stuck with that dodgy accent forevermore.
Oh God, I'd have to do it, wouldn't I? You wait till they find out you're not even Scottish.
Listen, mate, go blimey. No, I kind of.
He's a cockney.
Cockney. We're cockneys.
He's cockneys.
I agree with you there totally that. The trolls are sort of the scourge of the internet, but I just think social media is the worst form of communicating with somebody ever because it's you can write something down, and if you put that in front of 5 people, then each person could take it a different way, and you're not there to go, no, sorry, that's not what I meant. This is what I meant. So, like, I sometimes I read people's comments.
Careful.
Yeah, sometimes I read people's comments, and I'm like, you cheeky fucker, and you've got to be. Sometimes
Sorry
you're.
about that.
Yeah, it's you, innit? Yeah. But like most of the time, I've learned, because I used to just reply, and now I'm like, either sleep on it or write your reply out, put your phone down, come back to it, pick it up, read it, and if you look at it and think, oh, that's okay, send it. If you look at it and go, ooh, delete, you know what I mean?
No, I still respond every now and again.
Yeah, I
usually
do
with
bite.
just the words. I usually just put your mum. Every now and again, you can't beat your mum. You can't beat it.
Do you know?
They go on like a paragraph. Just end it with your mum.
Your mum.
That's it. Never ever get a comeback.
Do you know?
Ever.
In Scotland, right? Mum jokes or the mum retort. It's just standard, and it's just almost like, well, it certainly used to be. It was just accepted. But I remember coming down to England, and Jesus, people take it personally. You do a mum joke, and it's, I mean, well, it literally is like you've just insulted their mother, and you're like, I'm only having a laugh.
Strange that.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like,
your mum's so stupid.
Don't take it personally. Jokes, yeah. You know, but anyway, never mind. What do you expect, I suppose? It's me being a twat. Best parts then of this whole YouTube lark.
Easy, the people you meet, whether that be subscribers, followers, other YouTubers. It is literally the social side of it.
Absolutely.
The fun you get, the positives. The positives are massively outweigh the negatives on this. And I love it. I love the people I meet. I don't love you, Bruce. I really love you.
Your mum.
Not just love. Your mum. Yeah, it's the social aspect. Once I got over that nervousness of approaching, this sounds weird, strangers, so to speak, because they are. You might know them online, but they are strangers. Mm-hmm. Once I got over that and I started talking to people, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more. Now I'm quite social on it.
But isn't it weird, though, how you said, they are strangers, but you sort of get to know people? But it's like, I know it when I'm at events, if I'm at like the bike shows or the Overland event, or people just come up to you out in public and stuff, and they start chatting away because they're like, oh, I follow you on Patreon, I follow you on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, all this sort of stuff. They chat away to you and they know you because they're following what you're up to. But and I might have even like conversed even with them in messages, but it's only once they say their name, either their real name or their social media name, their tag, and you're like, oh right, that's you. But it's like, people come off like
it's weird.
Like their long lost family, and they sort of feel like they really know you and much more familiar with you.
They've kind of been involved with the story, haven't they? They've grown with the channel, sort of thing. Whereas it's more like YouTube is more approachable than, say, television, where it's the guy from telly, where they know more about you and I, if they watch the channels, that is, obviously. Yeah. Otherwise, we are definitely strangers, and that's weird, just coming up to people you really don't know. So, it's like, it's almost an invite. They know more about you than you know about them, and that's quite scary.
Yeah.
And it's quite scary. They go, oh, you remember that time when you was on that bike and you was in the woods going up that hill and that thing, and you're like, oh, that's a bit weird.
Stalker.
But it's brilliant though, because it means they've invested in the channel, so you appreciate it.
What's the weirdest occasion when someone has come up and done the whole, are you such and such off YouTube? Are you Mr Fish? What's the weirdest one that you've had, or the most random one that you've had?
There was a guy on a GS in a car park in Godstone.
And a lay-by off the A24.
On the A24. I know, it was you, wasn't it? I don't know. I haven't really had any weird ones. I've had some strange people, but not any weird conversations. It's kind of, and it is they start telling you about you.
Yeah.
I think that's the weird thing. And you're like, yeah, I know, I did it.
Yeah, it's me.
It's like they're talking to you like they're talking to their friend, talking about
you,
your video,
about
you, and that's the bit. I'm still not comfortable talking to people because to me, I'm a guy who rides a bike and puts out videos, but you don't realise that many people watch. So when they come up to you, I still find it a little bit weird, and it is the way they approach you as well.
Yeah,
Some people just point. They walk in front of you and point. Oh, that's the weirdest one. And then they go, "It's you." Like, well, obviously it's me. I'm here.
Well, I just kind of say to people like on my vids and that, I'm just like, if you see me out and about, just come up and say hello, because I hate it when, I don't hate, but I just think, oh, what a wasted opportunity when people message and go, oh, I saw you at such and such a calf, or I saw you on the ferry, and I didn't want to come up and say hello. And I'm like that with, I met I didn't meet John McGuinness. John McGuinness was at the recent track day I did with Bennett's at Brands Hatch. John McGuinness was right there. And I didn't talk to him. And I think, you dickhead, why didn't you do it? But I just felt a belling. I felt a right belling going up to John McGuinness. Hi, John.
I've got a picture on my phone, me and John McGuinness.
Have you? Everyone tells me he's such a nice geezer.
I think that was at the same show that I didn't get a book from you. I think it was the same show.
Was it?
So I got a picture of him and Charlie Borman as well.
Do you know,
I just had the bottle to sort of like, can I have a picture?
I've never met Borman.
Like, they're not. Seems like, I only spent a couple of minutes talking to him, but got a lot of time for people, it looks like.
Yeah.
He really does embrace it.
I would love to meet Charlie.
He seems nice, and everyone I know that's spoken to him and sort of like hung around with him or done anything with him said he's a real decent guy.
Yeah.
So I do like Charlie. Charlie, like he's my mate now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Me and Charlie when we're out.
He gets a lot of flack. I hear people sort of having a pop at him a lot of the time, but a lot of the time it's people that have never ever met him, and I think there's a lot of jealousy there as well for what he's done. And have you read his book? Did you read his book about the first long way round? What a gamble that man took, because he was, although he's an actor, he was sort of, I don't mean it as an insult, but I think he was a bit of a struggling actor in that he was basically helping to fit kitchens for a mate to try and pay the bills and put food on the table. And the opportunity came up for him to do the first the long way around with Ewan McGregor, and he was contemplating not doing it because a job came up with his mate to fit a kitchen, and he was like, this is a lot of money that I can earn for my family, or I can go and swan off on my bike around the world for 3.5 months. And it was actually his wife.
No brainer then.
Well, it was his wife that turned round and she said, look, we'll be okay, we'll make it work. You just do not know what opportunities this trip could open for you, what doors this could open for you.
Yeah.
And that in itself could lead the family onto a whole new, better life. And wow, well, what a gamble to take, and obviously it's paid off.
Yeah. That's it.
Fair play.
See, I don't understand this celebrity when people go that celebrity's a dick, that celebrity's this, that, because they meet them once so their whole life. They don't know what's happened that day. They don't know anything. They could be nice for 23 hours and 59 minutes of that day, and they meet them on that 1 minute where someone just pissed them off, and they say the wrong thing. They tell everyone he's a dick.
Yeah, it's
horrible
true.
Person, worst person in the world. There's no other industry where you don't go into a bank and just go, hello, mate. And he looks at you funny and sort of like, oh, sorry, I was miles away, dick. Everyone in that bank's a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a strange thing. The amount of people I know that says this celebrity's been that, this celebrity's been, and you've met them, and it's like, oh, they're fine with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you're the dick.
Yeah. Well, I
just take people for what they are.
A lot of people call me a dick. Never mind. Normally, my wife, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Do you know Rav Wilding? Have you seen Rav Wilding?
No.
He's the geezer that does Crime Watch. Does a lot of bike stuff now as well with Triumph and things. Well, I used to.
He was a policeman, that guy.
Yeah, I used to work with Rav. He was on my team at Peckham Nick, and then he moved into CID and stopped working for a living. But anyway, I remember in the old bill, he used to get a lot of flack off of other coppers Not to his face, I hasten to add, but people would be like, whenever he was in the tabloids or on TV, people were like, oh, fucking hell, yeah, he's plastic copper, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, actually, he's a fucking good copper. I used to work with him. I know him. He's a really decent lad. And, it used to annoy me that, where it's just life though, isn't it? People actually don't know somebody, but I think we're all guilty of it. We form an opinion of someone without actually knowing them, really, don't we? And I think social media's... Oh, have you run out of camera? Are you okay?
I'm checking. You've still got one bar left.
I'm an hour and 9 minutes on my GoPro. What are you?
Yeah, I'm an hour and 9 exactly.
Oh, blimey. You've still got one bar? Bloody hell. That's good.
Yeah. Mine's a 5, Hero 5.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. I've got the 7s on my...
Yeah, 7 times quicker to run down the battery.
I've got to say, it does actually. Each batteries, but I've got mine plugged in to the mains at the moment. Right, so where were we then? So,
have we actually answered any questions?
I can't remember. I've forgotten what the question was. I think it was Pete, wasn't it? Pete Morris. Best and worst part of what you guys do. Yeah. So, social side, absolutely. Yeah. It's the worst, but it's also the best. Next one, Johnny Hackinson. Mr. Fish. Johnny, you prick.
Why are you laughing?
Mr. Fish, did Bruce tell you that he rode around the world? Very good. No? Very good. Thanks very much.
Yeah, he hasn't said that.
I don't like to talk about it, to be honest, John. So we'll just draw a veil over that.
What you should do is write a book about it.
Do you think? Maybe have some T-shirts and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. If you were to write a book and do some merch on it, where would that be available? Just off the cuff.
Well, if I were to have written a book, it would have sold out on paperback. So it would only, if I had written one, it would only be available either in Kindle or ebook on Amazon, which you can get or could get if I'd written one at TeapotOne.com. And if I had merchandise, it would be available at TeapotOne.com also.
Yeah, and that'd be good. I think you should think about that.
If I'd done something like that, then I would shortly be about to launch a rebrand with a whole new range of merchandise coming. So, watch this space and it might happen.
That's a good idea. If that ever comes out, I reckon that book will be a really, really good read.
It was.
Allegedly,
yeah. I was going to say my mummy told me so, but sadly she never got an opportunity to read.
The problem with your book?
What's that?
I read it with a Scottish accent.
Everyone has said, everyone that knows me has said that when they read the book, they read it with a Scottish accent.
Yeah, you can't help it. You can't help it.
Well, I'm not a writer. I just wrote it the way I talk, and I think because I wrote it, I basically I wrote for Fast Bikes whilst I was away, and I used a lot of that content. I'd write my piece for Fast Bikes, and then I would write my blog for my website. So I've just sort of conjured up all these descriptive terms for the Fast Bikes article, so they would come out again when I was writing the blog. So the book is made up of most of what I wrote in the blog, with a little bit of retrospective stuff chucked in. So it's just I write how I talk.
Cool. What was the question?
Johnny Hackinson.
Oh, have you mentioned it?
Did I mention it? Yeah. Prick. Roger White. Roger's the guy actually that does all my merch. Roger's actually, is he?
Okay.
Roger said, I think Roger's going to contact you or has contacted you. Did you contact him?
No, I haven't done either. I need to contact him.
Yeah, Roger's the guy that does all.
I need to start thinking about merch.
Right.
If I did do merch, that I promised when I got to 5,000 subscribers.
And what are you at now, John? Nearly 20.
Just over 18,000. Over 18,000. I won't embellish it that much. But yeah, I should start thinking about it. People have been asking for 2 years.
Mate, do it.
Yeah, no problem.
Do it.
No problem. Because the first T-shirt I'm going to launch, I think it's a T-shirt I'm going to launch. The first T-shirt, 100% of that profit is going to go to a charity. I don't know which one yet.
Cool.
I promised it years ago. That's still going to happen. So 100% of the profit from a certain T-shirt will go to whatever charity I choose at the time.
Nice one. Good on you.
So, there you go.
Well, let me know and I'll get one when it comes out.
Cool.
Roger's question: evening, morning, and afternoon all. What do you prefer and why? So, you're a morning, afternoon, or evening person?
Evening.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm an afternoon if it's getting up. But evening, I like the evening.
There's pills for that.
I like. I'm sure pills for getting up. I'll just lost my train of thought then. Completely stunned me. Not literally. Yeah, evening. Definitely evening.
Yeah, I'm the same. I like evening.
Staying up, chilling. I just find it's a more chilled time of day. Morning's too rush for me.
I'm way more productive. Like in terms of editing, I'm way more productive. Like sort of into the evening and into the early hours. So I'll happily sit up till 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and work, and then I can get up at sort of 5, 6, 7 in the morning. But I just find I'm a bit of a zombie. Really, I need to get gallons of coffee in me. And sort of sit there, and it's normally around about 11, 12 o'clock before I just start firing and coming back to life.
Yeah, my painkillers don't work in the morning, so I have to wait for them to kick in. I try to take them as late as possible, so I'm just don't speak to me in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like the evolution of man throughout the day. I start off in the heat and sort of like work my way to upright by about 11 o'clock. I'm
the same. When I get out of bed, I've got arthritis in both my ankles from my rugby days, and now my shoulder's knackered, and my back's knackered from bike crashes. I get out of the bed in the morning, and I'm like an old man, you know. I'm all over like this, and it takes a while before you sort of straighten yourself out. I've literally just started doing these stretching routines on my phone. There's an app, I think it's called 7 or something. So I do 10 minutes of stretching in the morning. So I've done like 3 days of that so far. Wow, what a difference.
There you go. That's your new channel. Stretching with Bruce.
Stretching with Bruce. Stretching the truth. Yeah.
With your mankini on. I think the ladies will buy into that one.
Have you seen Andy? Have you seen TMF's pictures that he's done with him wearing the thong and stuff? Oh man, if you have a look at his
Instagram, I don't really want to see that.
Have a look at his Instagram.
You can't unsee it.
Oh mate, did you see the latest podcast I did with him in Lamb Chops? Have you watched that one yet?
Yeah. Did you see
the plugs with the butt plugs?
Yeah.
Have you seen? Oh mate,
yeah. I never knew that when he did the MCN things, he always had something in the background.
It's been going on for like a year or so.
Never noticed.
In the background of his office vids, he'll have a butt plug somewhere, and he just wanted to see if anyone, and nobody. I think in the last couple of months, 1 or 2 people had messaged him and gone, "Is that a butt plug?" On the shelf behind you, that sort of stuff.
I just hope he messaged back, "What's a butt plug?" and then they feel embarrassed.
He's a top bloke. Andy is a top bloke. The total. I've
never met him. Seems a really nice guy.
I've always said it. Like since I met him, he's the polar opposite of what you think he would be. He's awesome.
Well, I kind of get the sarcasm on his channel.
Yeah,
I like a bit of sarcasm. So I've got it from earlier. At first, when I watched him, I thought, "What is this about?" And then you kind of get it.
Yeah.
And once you get it, you understand. Not that I know him, but you understand it a bit more, and you like it. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Not the butt plug bit. I don't like the butt plug bit. I'm not going down that.
Don't knock it till you tried it, John.
Yeah. Just don't take a run up.
He's a top man, and I've got to admit, I am sort of. I hate to say it, I'm envious of what he's built, because it's bloody impressive. You know, his following is phenomenal. But as I said before,
you know what to do then, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if I could attain what he's attained. To be honest, he's just
try the butt plug. See what happens.
Yeah, you know, I look at what Andy's done, and you just think, Jesus, for like almost, I think 2 years or 3 years solid, he was chucking out something like 3 to 5 videos a week. And you're just like,
no, I can't.
That is phenomenal.
Do that.
How did you do that?
But that's the key to YouTube, I think, is consistency. If you can get consistent, that's half your battle. Consistency.
So they all say.
If you look at the predominant one, Casey Neistat, video a day, consistency.
We did
if
it
he
for
missed one, he would drop so many.
He did that 5 years, didn't he? He vlogged every day for 5 years.
Yeah.
Who do you watch now then?
But he did have an interesting life, though, to be honest.
Oh, 100%.
It's not like me vlogging every day. Here's me going to work. Oh, look, I'm on a train. Here's me going home from work. Oh, look, I'm watching telly.
Yeah, but then...
it's not quite the same.
A lot of the time, though...
I suppose you make it more interesting, don't you?
Yeah, a lot of the time. Look at some of the vids, a lot of the vids that he did. He was literally going to his work, or... You know, he got given some bit of kit, and he would go out into New York around the streets and film about it.
It does help that he's central New York, and his office is pretty cool, though. And he comes from a film background, so 100%. He kind of understood it, I think. Yeah, he kind of understood how it worked before.
Yeah.
He was one of the leaders. He probably was the leader in that style.
He was the pioneer in the modern vlog style.
So he saw, from a film style, he saw the gap in the market from a filming point of view.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How do we get onto this stuff?
I don't know. But I mean, like, who do you watch now on YouTube? Because obviously Casey's he's not very productive anymore in terms of his YouTube content. So who do you watch now on YouTube?
I haven't watched any YouTube, but I watched your electric bike video the other day. By the way.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, no worries. I watch us lot sort of thing, Lamb Chops and Missenden and the locals, what I call the local boys.
Yeah.
I watch them, but ones that crop up that are non-motorcycle related. There's a guy, he kind of annoys me, but I'm drawing him bald and bankrupt. And he goes around the world and he kind of gets himself into weird situations, like in Russia. And he's basically he's on foot and he's going around the world.
Wow.
It's called Bald and Bankrupt. And the only reason I got into it is because someone said he looked like me from America a couple of years back. And I started watching him and he just got these, where's the roughest place in this town? And they go, it's down there. So he goes to it.
Blimey.
But it's quite a clickbaity title, but he will go and he'll be drinking vodka with in Chernobyl with these misfits in the middle of the forest. It's just a weird channel, but I quite like it.
Have you watched?
And then I watch.
Sorry, go on.
No, then I sort of watch the younger stuff. I mean, it sounds weird, but because my daughter and all that, her friends and all that, so I watch some of. No, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? No, I don't watch her friends.
No, quantify that. Do you want to tell people who your daughter is? You don't have to.
Not really, but
fair enough. Don't worry then. No worries.
But they're all big YouTubers.
Yeah,
huge. I mean, huge YouTubers.
Massive
in the context.
Massive.
Yeah. So I watch them because obviously you know them and you speak to them. You kind of get the personalities and that.
Yeah.
So you watch them. So I watch that. True Geordie, I like. Again, one of her friends.
Yeah.
That's the one I really like.
That's nuts, man. Yeah. I love his podcast. I genuinely love watching his podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a really funny guy. Brian.
Yeah.
And Lawrence. Brian and Lawrence are good.
Yeah.
And to make me laugh is a weird one. A guy called Stephen Tries. He's a younger audience, but because I don't know him, but he's a friend of my daughter's, so yeah, I watch that.
What's he called? Stephen what? Stephen
Tries.
Right, okay.
I mean, if you're over 30, you probably think, this is shit. I find it funny.
Have you watched $1 Million Bogan?
Oh, yeah.
Do you not like it?
There was one, I go through space of liking him, can't stand him, and then liking it. And then I watched a video where he did the monkey bike thing.
Not seen that one.
And he was in an Australian dealer, and he made fun of Aborigines.
Oh, right.
He was quite derogatory towards Aborigines, used it as a slur.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I thought that's who you are.
Mm.
I'm not really that interested. And he tends to argue with people in like shops and things like that for no reason, just to make himself look a little bit bigger than he is.
Right.
I think it might have just been on this little series of the monkey bike.
That's
thing.
never come across to me.
He had this argument over a crash helmet about something, and then he mentioned something about Aborigines, but he said it in the way like it's joking, like putting someone down, because almost like you're like an Aborigine, you're so stupid. That's the way it came across. And I thought, not interested in you, mate. I mean, he seems like a bit of a user to me. I mean, I could be completely wrong. He's taken in the wrong context, and it means completely different things over there to what I see. I don't know. Just the way it came across to me.
Yeah, I mean, jeez, I don't get that impression at all when I've watched it. But then I've not seen that. I've obviously not watched that vid or vids that you've seen and talking about. Have you been to Australia? You ever been?
No. I haven't even been to Germany.
that's right. Well, we can do the Germany thing. Australia might be a little bit trickier, but
125.
Yeah, mate, that'll be mega. Shh, don't tell anyone. We've got to do that. Yeah. The whole Aboriginal thing. Did I tell you I rode around the world? When I landed in,
glanced upon it.
I was in Darwin for about 10 days, 2 weeks, just before Christmas time, waiting for me bike to ship in from Dili in East Timor. And they have got a massive, I think they have a problem with it sounds horrible, I'll say it anyway. They have a huge problem with the sort of native Aboriginal people around Darwin, because they're just, a lot of them are, the vagrants that you see hanging around London tend to be Scottish or Polish. Well, in Australia, they tend to be Aboriginal. And so they're either alcoholics, drug addicts, or when you get out into the bush...
I've heard there's a lot of drug problems.
Yeah. When you get out into the bush, like they're even addicted to petrol, sniffing petrol and stuff. On Christmas Eve, I got to, they have roadhouses out there, because there's like 400 kilometres or more in between. Is your camera okay?
Yeah, it just dropped off the last bar.
Do you want to change your camera?
We'll do this. Okay. I think it goes dark and then it goes off, doesn't it?
All right.
Going. See that? That's right, they're going. The famous one's going.
All right, bye.
Have a good day. Still got the ones we don't talk about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Walk around with the black bar across their eyes. Those ones.
They
have these roadhouses, because the distance between petrol stations out in the bush is so vast at times. These roadhouses are basically, the sort of hostels, petrol stations, restaurants, you name it, they do everything. You can do your laundry there, everything. So I got there on Christmas Eve, and the geezer basically said to me, that owned it, he said, look, if you want, you can camp out the back. It's shut to the public, but you can stay there, put your tent up if you like. So they cooked me a Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve, and I had that with him and his missus. And then I slept out the back of my tent, but it was totally sort of fenced in with this big high metal fence, all like solid corrugated iron fence all around the compound, and you could just hear this wailing. And the next day he said to me, yeah, that's the Abos. They can smell the petrol from the petrol forecourt, and they're trying to get in to start buzzing on the petrol. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, it sounded like like wild dogs howling all around the compound. Kept me up all bloody night. Crazy.
That's weird. That's so strange.
But I think they seem to have a big problem. Like, I remember from obviously my old job as Old Bill, there's a big problem in London with homelessness, and a lot of the homeless people tend to be sort of Eastern European origin or Scottish origin. There's a lot of Scots living on the streets. I think there's a connection there with military as well with regards to the Scots. There's a lot of them come out the forces and just don't know how to deal with life, and for whatever reason end up on the streets. But in Oz it seems to be Aboriginals. But anyway, by the by, topical, political.
Let's get some questions
up. Right, let's go quick fire then. Right, Stuart Bailey, if you had a time machine, what single piece of bike tech would you take back in time? Not a GS. What year would you go back to, and what advice would you give to anyone you met?
What would I take back? What, to invent yourself?
Yeah, what piece of bike tech would you take back in time? What year would you go back to? And what advice would you give to someone?
I'll take ABS and put it on my Tenere just before the car pulled out in front of me.
Ah.
So that's that one.
That leads us on to something.
Yeah, that's something else. What year would I go back to? I'm not that fast. I don't really like to go back. I wouldn't even go forward. I don't want to know the future, really, and I don't want to know the past. Live your life.
Live your life. No, very true. Very true. Bike tech. I'd take back in time. I don't know, man, because I think there's nothing wrong with how bikes have developed. I don't look at bikes and think, I wish I could go back to that point and change that. I think bikes have just progressed nicely, you know.
I guarantee there's one point you can go back to where you wish you had heated grips, though. At some point in your biking life where you wished you had heated grips. Many times. Yeah.
Do you know what? Sorry to mention it. When I did my trip around the world, I had heated grips on the Jigshaw. I had R&G heated grips, and they lasted the whole way from the UK down through Europe into a little bit of Africa that I did, back through Europe, Scandinavia, all across Russia, all the way down through Japan, Southeast Asia, all the way to Australia, crossing to South America and up through South Central America into the States. All the while it was like, 40. In fact, in Australia, it got to 53 degrees on Christmas Day. 53 degrees. Ridiculous. So I spent most of my time in 30 to 50 degree heat. I got to the States just crossing into Canada, and it hit minus 38 with wind chill for about 5 days, 6 days as I was crossing Alberta and into British Columbia. And the heated grip stopped working.
It's too cold for them to work.
So seriously, the entire trip, I had heated grips when it was like 53 degrees. I got to when I really needed them, and they stopped working. I was having to put my bare hands onto the exhaust to try and thaw my hands out. It was unbearable.
Old school. You went old school.
Oh man, it was nuts. But for me, I don't think there's no single bit of bike tech that I would like. I don't think there's ever been a pivotal moment that I'm not happy with in bike development. I don't think. What year would I go back to? Again, I'm happy with when I started riding. I think in 2008 I started riding, so I was 32. Yeah, 32. And I'm happy that I think for me that was a good age for me to start riding. Because a
bit more sensible.
A little bit.
Allegedly.
Yeah. What advice would I give to anyone that I met? Live your life, man. Just don't take yourself so seriously. Just look after those that you love. Best advice I was ever given. Look after those that you love, but live your life.
Yeah. Or ride a GSXR around the world before this Scottish guy does. I don't know what advice I give.
There could be only one.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. There you go. That should be your merch. That should be your T-shirt. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Brilliant. I'd buy one. Right, John Broadhurst. Here we go. There's this one. John's the bin man. Yeah. John's a chap that works on the bins, and he basically he started forcing.
Drink to you guys.
Exactly. Yes, Slange, cracking work. He started forcing all the lads on the bin lorry to listen to the podcast, so they're all into the podcast now. So cheers for that, John, and all the best to you lads.
So they listen to the podcast as they're going along.
Yeah. As they're working, yeah. So John.
Wait. Put the lids back on your bins.
yeah, exactly. Stop making so much bloody noise. John Broadhurst. If a woodchuck could chuck wood and no one was around to hear a woodchuck chuck wood, would the woodchuck chucking wood make a sound? Yes.
But no, because what's a woodchuck?
Well, it's a thing that chucks wood. Obviously.
Yeah, but unless I know what it is. It might not make a sound, mightn't it? Woodchucks might naturally operate in a silent manner.
I hate people like you.
We don't know.
You just want to argue, don't you? You're the type of person that just wants to argue.
If you're going to come out of the woodchuck thing, bring some woodchuck facts. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
John,
we need some woodchuck facts
John.
on this podcast.
Yes, John.
No. Doesn't make a sound.
John Webber, how did you get the name Mr Fish? Not John Webber, you. How did you get the name Mr Fish?
I was going to say, he's got the name Mr Fish as well. Weird. The name Mr Fish is, my surname is a type of fish. So when I was a kid, I was called Fish. My nickname's been Fish my whole life. And now I've grown up and I'm Mr Fish. Easy.
Boring.
Not an elaborate story. I could say I battled sharks when I was 17.
I arm wrestled a great white shark and beat it. Yeah. Robert Forster.
I was.
No, go on. What bollocks are you going to come out with?
No, that's it. The bollocks is on. There's no more bollocks for that question.
He's at the tipping point now. He's had enough beer just to ease into it. There we go.
Yeah. It's all factual, this stuff.
1.5 cans. That's all it's taken. 1.5 cans.
I've got meths as well.
You were on the port and everything last time, weren't you? On Thursday?
No, it was rum. I had a whole bottle of wine and then I started on the rum. You probably wouldn't even be able to understand me by the end of it.
I don't think there was anything wrong with the audio in the last one. You were just too pissed.
Yeah, probably. It's probably me, it wasn't the record, it was just me.
Right, next one. Stephen, it was Robert Forster. Would you have a bike without all the bells and whistles and gimmicks? Just old school grunt. Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely. But I'd want the modern bike with loads of oomph and all the gadgets as well, though.
I like gadgets, but I would like an old... The problem is, when you go old, you don't get the oomph, if you know what I mean, compared to modern bikes. But I would like an old bike, cafe racer style to do up.
Yeah.
But 1,000cc engine sort of thing, 750 to 1,000. So a bit of oomph, but yeah, I would like one to do up. I
had Struan from Remotorcycled on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and that's exactly what he does. He builds his own motorbikes. You know, he does his own sort of cafe racer type bikes. And he's really good Instagram, well worth Remotorcycled it's called. And he's got a really good Instagram account and YouTube channel. But on his Instagram, every day he's posting up stories and stuff of what he's getting up to in his garage and that, and it's really interesting. I'd love to have that knowledge and talent to build my own bike.
Yeah, I do like a good cafe racer. I've got a friend of mine that I used to work with. I went to school with him, and he builds bikes. I did a video on his bike back, was it last year, year before? It's a bike shed. He was at the bike shed. He was invited to the bike shed to show his bike. At they do the show thing at Tobacco Dock. His bike was there, and he built it was a CX500 that he made into a cafe racer. Beautiful bike, absolutely beautiful in the flesh.
Mega.
There's a video out on it. It's if you go over to my channel now and subscribe, you'll be able to see it.
Well, so you was actually at the bike shed?
Yeah, I did a little interview with him and showed them around the bike when I did. It was the bike shed. I don't know what the show's called. Is it called the Bike Shed Show?
No,
it doesn't sound catchy enough.
I can't remember what it's the Tobacco Dock one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one.
I can't remember what it's called.
It was from a couple of years back, at least not. Probably wasn't last summer, but the summer before.
That's what got
2018.
That's what got Struan into it from Remotorcycled. He entered the competition with sort of the proposal for the bike that he was going to enter, having not built it yet. And he didn't in a million years think he'd be accepted to come in. And obviously they then said, "Yep, you're in. You know, you have the bike here for this date." And he was like, "Oh, I've got to build a bike now." So. You know, that got him into it, started his whole journey. You know Mike Noble?
Pretty much the same.
Do you know Mike Noble from Guildford Harley?
I follow him on Insta. I love his sports stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what he does. He's got his own business, Guildford Custom, I think it's called.
Some customs,
customs.
Yeah.
And
I follow them on Insta.
Yeah, so he's custom building Harleys as well. Beautiful machines he's got.
I like custom bikes that are subtle. I don't like flames and all that.
Yeah.
I know he's got flames on his bike. I think he's got flames on his bike. I like his flames, but I don't like that over the top.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Neon and all that. Like the front wheel that's about like a Ferris wheel. Looks like the Millennium wheel on the front.
The American chopper type bikes.
Oh, I like for the American chopper. I like what goes into them.
Yeah. I like some of them. I've got to say, I do like some of them.
But I would never, ever. I like Paul Jr.'s bikes. I don't like Paul Sr.'s bikes. Paul Jr. when he did his own thing, was it Paul Jr. Designs?
I think so. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I liked his bikes then. I didn't like the American chopper stuff so much, but when he did his own thing, I think they were much better. But they've gone crazy. I saw Sturgis this year, and some of the front wheels, it's like, oh, come on, mate.
Are they?
People can see you. Yeah.
I like Ferris wheels.
I don't know what they are. I think they're 28-inch front wheels.
Oh my God! What?
Yeah, they might even be bigger. I'm not sure.
Jesus.
But yeah, as a work of art and a machinery and an engineering project, I get it. But I couldn't ride. I'd be too self-conscious.
Well, listen, you just mentioned
says me that rides a Super Cup.
The polar opposite, yeah. You just mentioned Sturgis, and the next question is from Stephen Bowman, and he says, hopefully you'll both be coming to the States soon. What areas are on the top of your list to ride that you haven't yet seen, and why?
I'm not interested in Sturgis, to be honest. I've just watched a video yesterday on Sturgis this year. Dead. Absolutely dead. There are a lot of bikes there, but not a lot going on.
Yeah. It's to be expected, though, isn't it, really? Yeah.
I don't know why they went ahead with it. It looks like it's just finished this year, so I wouldn't have bothered. But as for the States, I've said to you before, I'd like to take a year off, fly a bike over to maybe Alaska or New York, and then start from there and ride every single state.
Yeah.
Do as much as I can.
100%. Yeah.
Just go. Not actually really plan anything. The only plan would be to hit every state and to kind of get the local biking knowledge for the roads and things to do from the locals, and then go and do it as I go.
Yeah.
That'd be my only plan. But take a year to do it, so I'm not rushing around.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be my plan.
Yeah, my thing would just be use social media, like you said, to meet the local bikers, meet up with them, and ride the best roads that they know. Do that, then move to the next place and the next place and the next place. I've done a wee bit of. I sort of skirted around the outside of the States, really. I came up into Texas from Mexico, went to LA, and then shot right across the south of the States, all the way to New Orleans, into Georgia, and did Tail of the Dragon, up in the, is it the Blue Ridge Mountains?
Yeah, I know that road.
Had some of the roads round about there, and then headed down to Key West, and then from there up to New York and Boston, and then from Boston right across to Chicago, then up into Canada. And I've done quite a bit of the Northeast with my wife, just hiring a truck, flying in, hiring a truck, and doing road trips and stuff. So I've done quite a lot of the Northeast, but I would love to do the West. I would love to do the Pacific Coast Highway. I would love to do
done a bit of that.
Sort of inland into like where the Grand Canyon is, and west of that, all around that area. I would love to do the desert areas.
Grand Canyon's stunning.
Oh, it's nuts, isn't it?
The Grand Canyon with we drove. We got a helicopter down onto the Colorado River. We had lunch down in the river, so you're down right in the canyon. It was just just stunning.
I bet.
There's just so many nice things. The nicest place I rode in America that was jaw-dropping to me is a place called Zion National Park. I rode through it. It was like,
I've heard about that.
I literally turned into Gordon Ramsay. I was just wow. Everything was just wow.
Look at that.
I was stunned.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunned. I'm not stunned by most things, but nature does it to me. Man-made things very rarely, but nature. And Zion National Park, I have to say, I could quite easily go back, and I'd probably spend all day just looking up and going, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And when I went through the wife in the car, Yosemite National Park. That again, that's stunning as well. Beautiful. There's so much to see over there.
Yeah, we sort of mentioned this on the first run of this, didn't we? The best thing to do in the States is keep off the highways. Keep off the interstates and highways. Just do all the backcountry roads, and you see so much more of the country and the people. Yeah.
It's so nice. I mean,
I love it over there.
We go for the American term, sitting in a gas station on the curb, having a good bottle of water and eating some Haribos. I met some of the nicest people just sitting there doing nothing. They just want to find out what your trip is about. People, it's not a nosy thing like it is over in England. Everyone's nosy. It's a inquisitive. They want to know. And when you tell them, I'm from England, I'm doing this, people are so, and it's the way strangers go, well, if you're passing this way, hop in here, tell him Hank sent you, and they give you a free lunch.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't get that in England. We're not used to that.
Honestly, you do get it, but we're not inclined to actually take people up on that here in the UK. But that
maybe it's a London thing then.
It is definitely because, I mean, I know from coming up north down to London, the first thing that sort of smashes you in your face when you arrive in London is everyone's looking at the ground. Like, if you go anywhere outside of London, most people, certainly outside cities, I think, most people look people in the eye. Morning, how are you? Everything okay? Even if you don't know them. Yeah, morning, how are things? Yeah. I go back to Retford, where my wife's from. You go back up there and random people in the street are just like, hi there, how are you? I go back up to where my brother lives in the middle of, nowhere in Scotland. Tiny little village. People look you in the eye and, hello, morning, how are you? Total random strangers. But in London, everyone's just maybe a bit of fear. Everyone looks at the ground. Nobody makes eye contact. No one has a chat.
I don't know what it is.
Well, I think it's because...
I feel that if you put the effort in London, though, you get that. If you put the effort in, if you start it, it happens.
Or you get stabbed.
One of the two. It's 50-50. But it's worth the try. I've never been stabbed yet. Well, no, it's a lie.
Come close.
I've just been stabbed once. Okay. I wouldn't call it stabbed. More slashed than stabbed. But
an aggressive paper cut.
Yeah, that's what it was. No, it wasn't as bad as a paper cut.
Come on, tell me your stabbing story. I've got to hear this.
It was slashing with a knife. I was slashed with a knife and hijacked with a gun.
In London?
There you go. In London.
Good God, come on, tell me.
I used to be a bus driver. I used to be a bus driver years and years ago.
Oh my God.
So the guy that tried to stab me in the arm, I managed to he just cut the jacket basically and nicked me, not a lot, but he asked me a question. And I was on a bus stand, I was reading the paper, window open, he asked me a question. And all I said to him was, sorry mate, I was reading the paper. And he freaked. He went into one. He's trying to get me through the window, stab me. So you won't be able to get away with this now. I'll say get away with it. I shut his arm in the door and I drove off.
Nothing wrong with that. Arm, I think. Did you?
But they never found him. So that was that. And the day I quit the buses, there's a guy got on. It was I think it was around Sutton. There's the prison up there. I forget what it's called. He might have been from the prison. He might
Sutton
not. I'm
prison?
just assuming. Well, that'd be easy, wouldn't it? Belmont prison. That's what it's called.
Right.
Belmont prison. So he got on the bus, and I'd finished on the stand, and I was meant to be going back to the garage, and he went, I want to go to wherever. I went,
Belmarsh isn't it in Sutton?
Argument. Not Belmarsh, Belmont.
All right, Belmont.
So I said, I'm finished, mate. We're done. And he went, no, you don't understand. I really need to go somewhere. He's the politest person I've ever seen with a gun. He went, you don't understand. I really need to go somewhere. And I went, no, I think you don't understand. I really need to go home. And he's like, no, you don't understand. And then so I pulled his top up, and he had the gun. You could see the handle of the gun. And I'm like, well, why didn't you say so? Yeah, it's probably just the handle. It's probably no barrel on. And I said, why didn't you say so? And I drove him up to just basically up the road and dropped him off. And then I phoned, I think it's called Centrecom, which is the buses thing. I said, I've had this guy on with a gun. And they went, is he still on the bus now? I said, well, I wouldn't be calling you, would I?
Yeah.
And he went, well, if he's not there, there's not a lot we can do. And I went, right, that's it. And I remember drove the bus to the garage, parked it in the middle, blocked everything, and just got off and went home.
Did you?
And that was it. That's the last day on the buses, I think. Yeah.
Mate, gun crime in London is just... It blew my mind joining the old bill to see the levels of violence that are happening every single day in London, and they don't get a peep of a mention.
No.
At all.
No.
At all. You know,
it's every day now.
And then, but I mean, this is going back almost 20 years. You know, I remember dealing with stuff around Peckham where it's just nuts. It's like something like a Hollywood movie, and you get home expecting to see it on the news and find out what the hell that was all about.
Nothing.
Not a peep.
Nothing.
And yet the most trivial, utter anti-police bollocks makes the news, and totally fabricated a lot of the time. And it really made me... appreciate how
that's all it does.
It really made me appreciate how biased and full of shit the media is. 100%.
I remember, this has nothing to do with that. This never made the paper. I remember being, at Wharf Road, up towards the Elephant Castle. There used to be a Blockbuster video. This is showing my age now. There used to be a Blockbuster video. There used to be a pub opposite. I can't remember what the pub was. And I was staying outside the Blockbuster video. It was on the corner, and this Rolls Royce pulled up. There was this guy outside and they were talking. Next thing you heard was bang, and this guy just got sprayed up the wall. He leant into the car and they just sprayed him up the wall with probably a shotgun or something, whatever it was. And he just drove off. And it's like, everyone's like, oh, didn't see anything.
I never saw that.
Because it was a gang, an old school gang thing. Because you could tell by the car. I mean, it was like proper old school gangsters. It's like, okay. We'll just get a video. No, actually, skip the video. Let's just go.
Have you heard of?
Yeah, but that's what it was like back then.
Have you heard of Frankie Fraser? Used to run with the Craze.
Yeah, I know Frankie. Well, I don't know Frankie Fraser, but I know Frankie.
Well,
Fraser.
Walworth was his ground. Walworth was his where he used to hang about. So when I joined the old bill and was posted at Peckham, sort of Southwark was split in two at that time because it was such a busy borough that effectively they split it into two. So Walworth Nick took care of the north of Southwark, and Peckham took care of the south. And Frankie used to hang around East Street Market and Walworth Road and all around there, and it was crazy. Crazy. Have you ever ended up there?
And Dave Courtney as well.
Yeah, well, he was Dave Courtney was sort of. Oh Jesus!
More Deptford way.
He was Greenwich and out that way. I can't remember the Plumstead and all that out. He was further east. But yeah, he used to hang around there. But yeah, it was weird to see Frankie Fraser, and he would chat to you.
Yeah.
And sometimes he was good as gold.
School,
yeah. Sometimes he was good as gold, and other times he would proper want to go with you. Literally, really want to go. And it's just like a switch went.
Well, I remember being taken in the back of the van by Carter Street, Nick. Right, we were being a little bit leery. Sorry,
that is not a Nick you ever wanted to go to, mate. Carter Street.
And what happened was we got a little bit of the shit kicked out of us, and they dropped us in North London.
Oh, what without
we had to walk back
without your shoes?
And I lived in Dulwich at the time. So yeah, and all it was, I admit I was lippy.
Yeah.
I was a bit lippy back then. Had a few berries, very lippy. I think we've been to Temple Bar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've been Temple Bar.
Bloody hell.
So I was a little bit lippy. And it's all like, you'll never take me alive, copper.
Mate, Carter...
they did.
Carter Street had been shut for years when I joined the old bill. And I remember nicking people around Southwark. And I'd have, grown career seasoned criminals in tears begging me not to take them to Carter Street. And I was like... Where's Carter Street? What are you talking about? And the old sweats were all like, you just see them chuckling and like, nah, mate, just tell him he's going to Carter Street, but we'll take him to Peckham or Walworth. You know what I mean? It's just like, what's Carter Street?
Yeah.
But, man, just a different era. Different era.
Yeah, I got a slapping from them, boy.
Yeah. When
just for mouthing off.
Yeah.
But I never did it again, so I learned my lesson.
I tell you what, I think. I said, oh God, this is topical. But I think there's a time and a place for that old style sort of coppering.
Yeah.
I do think there is. Yeah. There's a person and a time and a place and a type of character that that's the only way you're going to effectively deal with a situation. So a lot of people you can reason, a lot of people you can reason with, a lot of people you can talk down, but there are some people who you just you can't deal with them, and they're literally going to batter 7 shades out of you unless you preempt it and deal with it. And it's hard for people to realise that until you're in a position where you have to deal with it. It really is, because I was a total lefty before I joined the old Bill, and became the polar opposite, more or less, I would say. But I remember
me or them, isn't it?
Yeah, my time up in Glasgow, when I lived in Glasgow, I was a bouncer in Glasgow, so we got to know Strathclyde Old Bill very well. And I used to play them at rugby as well. I used to play Strathclyde rugby when I used to play against Strathclyde Police when I was at Strathclyde Uni. And oh my God, they're some of the dirtiest games of rugby I've ever played in my life, man. But Strathclyde Old Bill used to, if you got nicked in the city centre of Glasgow, you get chucked in the old meat wagon and they'd take you outside of Glasgow, 15 odd miles outside of Glasgow, to Strathclyde Park, where T in the Park first started. And you'd get a kicking, and then they would nick your shoes, and like you said, you would just get dropped off. But you get dropped off with no shoes, 15 miles from the centre of Glasgow. You're like,
yeah. At least I have my shoes.
Yeah. what happens now? It's either that or you go at the nick, one or the other. I'll take the kicking. You know.
Yeah, I'll take the kicking. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? Imagine that now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to accept you're going to get a kicking. You can hold your hands up and say, "Yeah, I had that coming."
But then well, I mean, there's plenty of people out there that will say it's never warranted.
But I kind of had it coming, but one-on-one, I think I would have been all right.
I think we just grew up in a different age, and that sort of stuff probably quite rightly isn't tolerated anymore. Yeah. But
no, it's much better now.
Yeah, but
not the good old days. We could just get the shit kicked out of your brother.
Yeah, but then, I mean, look at where
I didn't do it again.
Absolutely, but you look at it now, and there's no comeback to anyone.
Yeah.
If someone steps out of line, if you actually give a shit, then yeah, there is a comeback, because you might get prosecuted and you might get penalised. Worst case, you might end up in jail. So if you actually give a shit, yeah, there's a penalty there. But if you don't give a shit and you come from a world where, so I'll go inside for a while and blah 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 blah, where's the penalty? There's nothing bad for it.
There's no deterrent, is it?
No.
There's no deterrent.
So I mean, I don't advocate the old Bill going out and giving people kickings left, right, and centre at all. I don't.
Oh God, no.
But
no.
I think you have to have a certain level of force available.
They need to be allowed to be a little bit firmer.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Jesus. When is that warranted? It's just again.
You don't know. The problem is every individual case should be treated as an individual case. There's no blanket scenario. But today we got blanket scenario. Even in my job, there's blanket scenarios.
The problem,
like even to do with sick and things like that. Everyone's a blanket. It's like this is the rules, this is the line.
Yeah.
But that's not human beings.
No, and the problem is
human beings react different to different things.
Exactly, and when you react, you're reacting to what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling at that specific second, that time and moment right then. If you then come back, if you move on to court, right, so let's just say I'm old Bill, right, and I see you in the street, maybe you've had a couple of beers, you've maybe popped a couple of pills or something, or you're just having a bad day, right, so you're not acting as maybe you possibly normally would, you're a bit emotional, you're a bit erratic. Let's say I've had a bad day as well, right, and we both come to meet each other in the street. It doesn't go well, we end up roll about in the street, you give me a dink, I give you a dink, things escalate, we both end up in a proper scrap, blah 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 blah, I nick you. 6 months, 12 months down the line, we end up in court. You're standing in court there in your suit, and you're all back to how you normally are, right? So the judge, who's not been involved in any of this, who's probably never experienced a street fight in their life, or let's say worst case scenario, there's a jury there. Well, a lot of the jury, who knows? They might hate old Bill. They might hate train drivers. You don't know, do you?
Everyone does.
They could have been late that day for court because the trains were on strike, right? Or the old Bill might have stopped them because they weren't wearing a seatbelt. Yeah. You just don't know, do you, right? But people then judge that case well after the time, and they're armchair quarterbacks. They're sitting there and they're not experiencing what we experienced at that time and place. They're not in the fear. They're not got the adrenaline dump. They haven't got all the environmental impacts and the factors that you go through at that time and a place. And I've seen it time and time and time again where after the scenario, after the situation, you could look back and think, well, what you did was well out of order. What that copper did was well out of order. But at the time, 100% I'd have done exactly the same thing, and it's so difficult because it's such a difficult job in some cases. And I'm not talking about the George Floyd case because nothing warrants.
That's a completely different scenario whatsoever.
Nothing warrants.
Yeah.
I have restrained people by kneeling on whatever part of their anatomy I possibly could do, but I haven't done it for 8 minutes. There's no justification for doing that for 8 minutes. You'll do that for 20, 30 seconds, move on, blah, 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 monitor, and I've talked about this before. It's just nothing warrants what happened there. But, oh, fucking hell, we're getting well too deep here, mate. This is dangerous territory, isn't
it? How do we get to this?
I don't know.
What's the question?
Jesus. What was the question?
Well, the question wasn't, haven't you ever been bashed up by the police?
Do you know what? The question was Stephen Bowman. Hopefully you've both be coming to the States soon. What area's in the top of your list to ride that you haven't seen yet and why? How did we get on?
How the hell did we get to that?
How did we get onto that? Right.
How the hell
quick fire. Quick fire. Ollie Rai.
You said this before.
I know. Right, for both of you, if you could go back in time to any year of your choice, doesn't have to be in your lifetime, and live that life for one whole year with no consequences, where would you go and what would you do? Any time in any year, live it. What would you do?
No consequences. No, I can even say that then. Consequences. Over 60s, pure hippie drug mode with no consequences.
Yeah.
I don't do drugs now or any of that, so just to experience what it's like.
No.
Or
someone's getting a piss test.
or back to medieval times, but I've learnt martial arts.
Oh, jiu-jitsu. Joe Rogan, jiu-jitsu.
Just for the fun of it. Yes, pure Steven Seagal stuff.
Do you know?
Go back when they come out with their swords.
I'm with you for this. I think I'd quite like to be like the 1920s, 1930s, Al Capone type time, or
Prohibition.
Yeah, or back to like William Wallace, 10, 1100. I mean, I would last 2 seconds. I'm soft as shit. But to go back to the sort of Highland days, I would love to be doing that, running around the Highlands. That would be great. I mean, I'm saying that would be great. It's probably a horrific way to live your life at the time.
Yeah. I don't think they had a ball.
But it looked great in Highlander, so.
Yeah. Oh, Mel Gibson seemed to love it, didn't he?
He wasn't in Highlander.
Oh, I thought you said in the Highlands.
Yeah, Highlander was the French guy.
Highlander, Sean Connery.
No,
it's Sean Connery and...
what's he called?
Oh, he was only in that film, wasn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Anyway, then.
They compete on you one.
That's the one. It's probably a better Scottish accent than he did as well. Right, Peter Budgeon. Do you know we have done even worse than we did last time?
Oh, what are we on now?
We're 2 hours, 8 minutes into it, and we've not even finished the Patreon questions. Right.
Come on, let's go. Fire.
Peter Budgeon. Hi guys, what are your views? Hi Peter. Hi Peter. Hi guys, what are your views on the YouTube blogger biker stuff? I love it. It's my living.
Yeah, brilliant. They're full of geniuses. Especially the ones that don't do it full time.
I think it's had a little bit of a revival again. I think there's a younger market coming in at the moment. I've noticed there's a younger market. There's a lot more ladies coming in, lady girls coming in these days. Yeah, I think
lady girls.
Lady girls.
It's a lady girl.
It's a lady girl. It's a girl. It's a lady. A lady. Females. That's a girl.
Females. Women.
Might not necessarily be females. Whatever they want to be. Come on, get with the times, John. Sheesh. I'm sorry, people. He's a dinosaur. What can I say? Anyway, Yeah, I think we're having a little bit of revival, and there's some. I think there's some cracking channels out there. Actually, there's some real good quality content coming through that I think in a year or two will be pretty damn big. You see, Moto Bob?
Yeah,
he sort of exploded onto the scene 6 months ago, didn't he? Moto Bob. Just he's got.
Yeah, it's the beard. That's what it is.
Has he got a beard?
It's the beard. He's got a beard. Yeah, got a beard. I actually got a bit of product placement because of Moto Bob the other day. I'm yet to review it or do it. GPS.
Oh yeah.
I saw something on his Instagram.
Beeline.
And I contacted him. Yeah, I contacted him and said, "Oh, that looks really interesting. I've seen it about before." And he gave me the email of the guy, and they've said, "Well, I've just got it in the post yesterday." So that's through Motorbob. So thank you very much, Motorbob.
Nice. I'd like to do some stuff with. I'm assuming his name's Bob. I think it is Bob.
Well, I think we can assume it. I hope it is. Otherwise, there's a story there.
MB. His production values are fantastic. And
he's editing and production. Fantastic.
I said this before, like when we did the first one on Thursday. It pissed me off a little bit initially because his early vids were basically just the PR promo material that, you know, if you did a vid on a Triumph give you a promotional PR pack that has all their spiel in it, and he basically just took that and created with a voiceover, and he just editing was top notch, but he just used all that content to create these amazing vids, 5-6 minute vids. And you know, it's perfect because he had this very short, high quality content and lots of it, and he churned that out, got these massive great big spike, huge amount of subscribers, and now he's moving into his own content, and he's played it. He's definitely played it.
Yeah, it's good. I do like his stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, his editing's.
I will say though, I've had a few beers, but I will say that Motor Bob, if you're watching, it's not really bad. It's just your boots annoy me.
Boots?
I don't know why. His boots annoy me. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with them. For some reason, every time I see his boots, I think, no, I don't like them. But
what?
It's just a weird thing. It's a weird thing. His content is great. His style's great. His videos are great.
So everything's perfect, but you don't like his boots?
Everything is perfect. It's just something I don't know what it is about the boots. It's just the boots. Maybe it's a fashion thing. I don't know. He's fashionable. I'm not. There you go.
Bob, he's a weirdo, man.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I feel bad saying it now.
Too late now. It's out there. It's in the ether. That's it.
I blame Brewdog.
There's no editing on these podcasts, mate. It's exactly as it comes out the tin. Apart from when we do.
As I said, I do like him. So. Just not the boots.
Just not the boots. Jesus, what do you think?
Sorry, Bob.
What do you think of my kit that I get? That's probably the most amount of abuse I get is the kit that I wear. People are like, you need a new jacket. What are those ridiculous trousers? Your boots are fucked. And I'm like, well, you know.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but now you brought it out.
But you get it. Like, people are like, oh, you should.
You do look like a homeless guy on a bike.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's the kit I own, mate.
I've never really noticed, to be honest.
Yeah, I do. I get a lot of comments about the kit I wear, and I'm like, well, you should wear rucker kit. I'm like, you get £1,500 for a jacket. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, give me one and I'll wear it.
I'll get right on that.
I've not got a problem with it. I've not got a problem with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I look like a twat on a bike, to be honest.
Well,
I look like a total. Yeah, that's nothing to do with the kit.
I was going to say, you have heard the expression, you can't polish a turd.
Yeah, that's me. I think I'd be king turd.
I wouldn't put you that high.
But hierarchy, no. Prince turd. My prince turd.
Joker turd.
Mayor turd.
Mayor. Right, last Patreon question, Chris Murphy. To both. We know you like to stay away from politics, apart from the last rant, but the question needs an answer. Red or brown in your bacon bap? Oh, brown. Brown, 100%. You're going to be red because you're a southerner.
Sauce on bacon's just wrong.
You go plain.
Wrong, full stop.
You just go dry, do
you? Yeah, I go in dry.
Oh, what? You need sauce.
Dry with the bacon.
You need sauce.
No.
Brown sauce.
No.
Brown.
Bacon sarnie. No sauce.
You are a heathen.
Why would you ruin it? Why would you?
You're not ruining it putting brown sauce on a bacon bap.
You are.
You're not.
You are.
You're not. It's like putting brown sauce on a bacon bap is like getting the best bike in the world, BMW R1250 GS, not the GSA, a GS.
And putting brown sauce on it.
And putting a full Akropovich system on it. That's what it's like.
No, I don't think so. I think brown sauce on a bacon bap is like if you buy the GS and then buy the BMW adventure outfit and then wear it on there. Right. That's what that is.
And go to Starbucks with all your panniers.
Yeah, and then go to Starbucks on the panniers while wearing a Schubert flip-up crash helmet. I think that's what you've achieved
and
with that.
And a high-vis wanker jacket.
Yeah, polite notice where it is. Yeah, if you do all that's sauce on a bacon bat.
Right, dude, we are 2 hours 15. Let's do quick fire. We've done all the Patreon. Let's do quick fire onto the Instagram questions.
We keep saying quick fire.
I know, but
you keep saying quick fire.
About my last 6 podcasts, I've never even got through the Patreon questions, so we've got to at least do the Instagram.
Let's trounce the last amateurs that you had on.
Right,
let's go.
You ready? Right, Instagram at TeapotOne Insta. Make sure you follow. Antonio Pramos, why the change from an adventure bike to a naked one? Fun factor. Well, we covered that, didn't we?
Yes, and everyone prefers the naked.
Always. John's done a video. Check out his channel. Boardgate. Right. Is it a proven fact that all good-looking guys have big beards?
No. Some have shorter beards.
Yeah, it's as beards go, it's a little bit anorexic, but it's more than stubble, so you've got some commitment. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yes. Peter Brewer 681. Being the top speed limit in the UK is 70 miles an hour. Is it? Is it? The maximum speed?
In first.
I think it's 170. I think he's missed a one out. Why do they import bikes and cars which will easily do double that? Because it's fun. And what's the fastest speed?
People buy them.
Yeah. And what's the fastest speed you've achieved on a motorcycle legally? 70 miles an hour.
70. Yeah, definitely 70. I've never been above 70.
Not 186 miles an hour, ever. No way. That would be ridiculous. No. Never. No.
I remember, allegedly, someone had a ZX-12R before this Japanese restriction war thing came on.
Ooh.
Between the Hayabusa and that. And allegedly on the M25, they had 202 on the clock.
Oh, my God.
So I've heard.
God.
Which is probably about 186 miles an hour in GPS terms. And allegedly, it was very fast.
I've gone.
But I've only done 70.
I have put my hand up here. I have maxed out my Gix 1000 on the Autobahn. Genuinely maxed out on the Autobahn. Holy crap! Have you ever been that speed before? Like flat out 186.
Allegedly, on the M25, someone told me that. But what I found was, what they told me was, if someone would have pulled on the next junction, they probably would have hit.
Mate, it's nuts.
You can't. They can't communicate how fast things are going on.
If you can,
ludicrously dangerous.
If you can see something happening up ahead, you're probably not going to be able to react to it in time. No, it's crazy. It's like Tron, just nuts.
Yeah.
But what a buzz! Right.
Allegedly.
No. Mine was okay. I was in Germany on unrestricted.
Yours as well. But mine was a friend of mine.
Your friend. Yeah. Urban Prowler.
Yeah.
An easy question: which burger is best, Newlands Corner or Rikers? I have never had a burger from either calf. I've had a bacon bap from Rikers, which was not bad.
Dry.
No, brown sauce.
But weirdo. I don't eat burgers.
I might have. I'm serious. I forgot about this. I'm seriously questioning our friendship, John.
I don't eat burgers. Beef is okay in certain formats.
Heal the world, make it a better place.
No, but I'm just saying
for you
burgers.
And for me. Actually, we can't. I can't sing Michael Jackson because allegedly he fiddled with kids as well.
So hold on a minute. You've done R. Kelly and Buck Jackson on this. All you need to do is Rolf Harris, and you got the full set.
I did do a little Rolf Harris and a jingle, jingle, jingle. Jimmy Savile too.
Oh my God! Right, it's a good job Prince Andrew hasn't sung anything, isn't it?
Oh my good God! Right.
So no, I don't eat burgers, so I wouldn't know.
God, what is the point in you? Right, English Electric Motor Co. Alex, how are you? When are you, an official Mr Fish, coming for an electric ride? There's a biker meet at Starwing Brewery and our Empire Nights on this Saturday. What a great combo. Well, we've missed that, but
yeah,
I'm definitely up for that. I've never gone up to their place.
We've got to do something. It's just a question of time, and basically time. That's all it is. If I can get the time to go up there and do it and everything, because I think is it an 8-hour round trip? Something like that.
It's Norwich somewhere, isn't it? Or Norfolk, or
is it?
Or something like that.
Yeah, it's not close when you're in Safe. So we'll have to figure something out. It will be done because I'm very intrigued by electric bike stuff.
Let's just take a tent. We'll take a tent up, or tents, because you're not staying in mine. But we'll take some tents up. We'll camp there the night. Ride around during the day, get pissed at night, camp, and then we can come home.
Yep, done.
You're a professional motovlogger. You don't have another job. Come on, world's your lobster.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is my full time. I'll tell you what, if this was full time, I'd be a failure, wouldn't I?
If your technological skills are anything to go by.
Yeah.
Watch this. Mine's probably not working. 2 hours 16 minutes. No, it's still, the counter's gone up.
My speaking skills are not that great at the moment.
Yeah, it's something to do with the beer, I think. Right, G-Harm69. If motorcycles were outlawed tomorrow, what's your next best buzz? Try and keep it clean. Crack.
Next best buzz. Porn star.
Mate,
gotta be.
Just.
Gotta be. Why not? Why wouldn't you be?
I think maybe we should bring Mrs. Fish into the conversation, and she can tell us why not.
Maybe we shouldn't. No, I don't know. What next best buzz would be? Oh, fuck no, buggies.
Buggies.
Off-road buggies.
Do you know, if motorcycles were outlawed tomorrow, I'd just be like, fuck it, I'm riding a bike anyway.
Oh, Aerial Atom. That's what I said last time, wasn't it? Or Caterham 7. Something like that. Something quite raw.
Nah, I'm quite belligerent. I would just ride them anyway. Fuck them. Screw them.
Yeah, but you're not allowed. You said you're not allowed.
And what are they going to do? Catch me?
Yeah, but the outlawed, they've all been scrapped. There's none anymore.
I'll keep mine.
None.
I'll keep mine.
No, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. What'd you do?
Out my cold, dead hand.
Okay,
you're not getting my bike. You've got not getting my bikes.
So you've got no bikes and you've got one less hand now. So what do you do?
Yeah, I'll be dead though. So then I'll just come back and I'll haunt them. I'll haunt them for shits and giggles.
Right, next question.
Reality V.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is a bit. Beer helps. Reality VFR. Oh, Jesus. Reality VFRFI. Choose a bike and explain why. BMW R1250 GS, best bike in the world. Next.
Because it depends what for, doesn't it? If it's for... this is a tough one. I hate to admit it, if it's one bike only, then it's a BMW GS Adventure.
Why Adventure? I don't get the fascination people have with Adventure.
Because the Adventure's like the man's version of the other one, isn't it?
It's not. It's a fat. It's a fat.
I mean,
thing.
If you're if you're
it's
small
me
and insecure
in the GS world,
and you're not really confident in handling, you get the GS. But if you're like a proper biker, you get the Adventure, wouldn't you?
No, because it's fat, it's top heavy, and it's like a wheezy. It's like a wheezy asthmatic GS. Why?
Because it looks better.
Nah, doesn't. It's honestly, it's
me. The real reason is I hate petrol stations, so I just keep going. That's the real reason. I just like the look of it. And when I've only ever sat on one. I've never ridden one. I've ridden a 1200 GS, loved it, but I've only sat on one at the show, and it just felt like it suited my long legs.
No, definitely you get more weather protection off the Adventure, 100%. But for me, it's like it's the same engine, but it's 30 odd kilograms more, and to me, it's just like it's just with physics.
Yeah, but it's probably because it'll go off road. That's probably what it is.
There's no difference. No difference between the GS and the GSA, except the GSA's got a bigger tank and more.
I'd buy a GSA and it'd go off road, whereas a GS never goes off road in your hands.
I think you'll find there's a video coming out on my channel that will prove you wrong. Hashtag
your GS goes off road.
Just saying, not mine, but a GS that I'm on.
I did say yours.
Do you think I'm fucking stupid spending like 18 grand on a bike and taking it off road? Not a chance. However, someone else's, no problem.
Someone else's. Hold on, Toro by any chance?
It was, yeah. It was actually, yeah.
I know.
Tours available.
I know everything, you see.
Toro Adventure.
Yeah, go check it out. He'll leave the website somewhere down below. Pressure.
I can't actually, they're not a sponsor, but check them out, toroadventure.com.
Okay.
Rich T93, best middleweight adventure bike. Don't break the bank, please. Are adventure bikes accessible enough for shorter riders? And what direction would you like adventure touring bikes to go in? Best middleweight adventure bike.
Middleweight. I would say I've only ever sat on it, never ridden it. Tenere 700.
Never ridden one. A lot of people have asked me about these. Never ridden one.
Yeah, I sat on it at the show and sort of like got the ergonomics, and it felt really natural, I have to say. And that's when I was on the Africa Twin. It felt like if it wasn't a lesser bike, so to speak, than the Africa Twin, in the terms of what it is, then I would probably. I was seriously tempted at looking at one, but my Yamaha dealer, they're not the greatest. So
they tend not to be, don't they?
And I couldn't come down from the Africa. I know a lot of people are going to say it's a better bike off road, blah blah blah, lighter. I couldn't come down from the Africa Twin to that. The build quality in the Africa Twin was just sublime not compared to that. But I've had Yamahas in the past, haven't had good experience. So but I'd say that's probably the best middleweight at the moment, according to journalists. Oh, and sorry, I'm going to digress now. Tiger 900.
Again, not ridden it. I know Andy TMF loves it.
Yeah, I sat on it and I found it too small.
Did you?
But that's the only thing. I didn't feel comfortable in it at all. It felt all weird to me, probably because of my body shape more than the bike.
Is it the 960 Multistrada, Ducati Multistrada? I think it's the 960. Yeah. That is supposed. I've heard people say that is actually better than the 1260, but I've not ridden one myself, so I don't know. Middleweight adventure, all I've ever ridden is the Tiger 800 and the the BMW 850. Is it F850? They're the only sort of two middleweight. Yeah, middleweight.
Is that still getting to you there?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a burp going on. I do apologise. Yeah, they're the only two middleweight adventure type bikes that I've ridden, and I've got to say I wasn't that impressed with either. To be honest, I would definitely go for the bigger myself. I think that's just the sort of person I am.
The thing I find is the bigger is better tarmac. I find the middles are better off road.
So I hate off road.
Just for the fact that you've got to pick them up. It's guaranteed. If you go off road, you've got to pick it up at some point. Guaranteed.
I'm going to get shot down in
a lighter bike.
I'm going to get shot down in flames for this, John. But man up. Just pick the bloody thing up.
Yeah, you tried it on the side of a fucking mountain.
I have. I went round the world, you know.
Yeah, but you picked a light bike.
Bloody wasn't light at the time, I'll tell you that.
Exactly. Imagine trying to pick up a GS Adventure.
The thing is, right, with GSs, they don't, because of where the ports are, the boxer engine.
Yeah.
They don't go all the way over. Although, if let's flip the situation, the sort of key image from my trip when I was up in Laos, and the GS is falling right down that hill. So it's a really steep hill like that, and the bike's falling this way with the tank going down the hill. If that was the GS, I would probably still be there now trying to pick that bike up.
Yeah.
But God, yeah. But what is that? Jack Daniels and Coke in a can.
In a can. I mean, amazing.
Heathen.
I mean, you talk about technology moving on. I mean, it says cola, so that's a weird thing.
Probably not allowed to say Coca-Cola, are they?
Okay. No, because it's nice, cheap, and it like roller cola, whatever it's called.
Right, come on, we've got to get through this. It's bloody
right. Quick fire, let's go.
11 o'clock at night.
Children about
Rich T's got Rich T93's got a few other bits to his question. Are adventure bikes accessible enough for shorter riders, and what direction would you like adventure touring bikes to go in? I keep getting asked about this. I'm 6'3". I don't know. I can't comment on shorter riders.
The answer is platforms. That's all I can think. No, but we got the opposite. That a lot of bikes are catered for shorter
100%.
riders. So
yeah.
We probably, as tall people, you've only got 10% of the bikes. As short people, you've only got 10% of the bikes. So.
And if you're Japanese, you've got a lot of them. Or Italian, Spanish, you've got loads of them.
Yeah, you got everything. So, which way was it? What's it about adventure bikes going somewhere?
And what direction would you like adventure touring bikes to go in?
Everything with cruise control, USB ports.
Yeah.
Fuel countdowns and bigger tanks.
I think exactly where they're going at the moment is brilliant. You know, I think most bikes now are getting lots of really decent, usable low-down grunt, which you can use on the road. I'm not worried about stupid speed, but give me a lot of grunt low down. So the torque. I'm not. I'm not. I rarely go over sort of 90 a ton anymore. Obviously not on a public road. Obviously.
Yeah, no.
But
that's in a 20 mile an hour.
No, I do not speed.
No, he doesn't.
20s, 30s, 40s, take it easy. Most 50s and nationals, enjoy myself. No, I didn't say that. I got me into a lot of trouble before when I said that.
Autobahns, enjoy yourself.
Autobahns and private runways, obviously enjoy yourself. I like the way things are going with more usable power lower down. As you said, heated grips, external power sources, USB power sources.
I didn't say heated grips.
I thought you did.
I didn't say heated grips.
Well, heated grips,
no, it's the voices in your head.
Cruise control, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's just handy to have for commuting, for munching miles. Usability, it's great. You know, S1000RR, it's got heated grips, it's got cruise control. I think it's even got a USB power port on it. It's just practical. Although it's a 206 brake horsepower sports bike, but it's practical.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, practicality for me. Love the way things are going at the moment. Rich T also says, Rich T93, just had my bike stolen, a brand new MT-09. Best way to protect a bike against theft with it on a driveway, please. Gutted for you, Rich. Gutted.
Everything you can afford.
Yeah.
Basically. I think we discussed this a while ago. You only buy time with devices.
Yeah.
You only ever buy time. If they're determined to get it, they get it if you give them the time to get it, basically. So cover it up, put as many locks on as you can afford, make the next person's bike, it sounds cruel, but make the next person's bike easier to steal.
100%. 100%. You will never make it, unless you're there at the time, armed, you will never make it 100% fail-safe against a fail-safe. You will never stop a thief. If a thief wants to take your bike, they'll take your bike. You've just got to try and make it as least attractive as possible to them and make it as much of a pain in the arse to them. So I would have ground anchors, chains, padlocks, a cover. I'd have disc alarm. I'd have trackers. I'd have everything on my bike. If it was kept out on my driveway, I would have everything I possibly could have on it. I would even have like motion sensitive floodlights that come on the second someone comes onto my drive. The Ring doorbell, have that so that it's looking at your bike. All of that. All of it. But even then, it's not fail-safe. Sorry. GBear1206, when are you boys coming over to Ireland for a bit of crack? As soon as I possibly can, I'm there. I bet you've never done Ireland.
I'd go over for the crack as it's spelt in Irish.
That's what it was.
For the crack. Oh, is it R-A-I?
Just because you come from South London, not everybody.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful. If someone invites you over for crack, you got to be very, very careful when you come from London. You never know what you're getting into.
What sort of circles does this man move in?
Again, I've never been to Ireland, so yes, 100%. It looks absolutely stunning over there.
Have you even left your house? I mean, do you just go from house to work to house to work to your lay-by on the A24? I mean, is that all you do?
Yeah. I've got a green screen. I don't even ride. I've never been anywhere. It's all in my garage. I just sit on my bike with a green screen behind.
G-Bear, I was going to be in Ireland this year, but obviously things have gone slightly against us. If it's going to be an option at some point this year, I'm there. If not, I will be there next year. 100%, I promise you.
I'd like to go over there. I'd like to go loads of places. I've got to get a bucket list and just tick them off.
Absolutely. Live your life, brother. Go for it. Right, Martin Brun, dream adventure, where to and how long?
I would say dream adventure is as long as it takes, from probably Alaska, Argentina. That'd be my dream adventure.
Yeah.
I might have to learn Spanish though.
Okay.
I think I would.
See.
Yeah.
Mine.
So that's my dream.
Mine for me, dream adventure, would be to do my original route for the round the world trip that I wanted to do, which is basically everywhere. How long? If we're talking in a fantasy world where, I'm not committed with my wife, I'm not committed with my son financially, I would go for as long as possible. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, I don't know. I would just hit the road and keep going. Just live on the road. Yeah.
Live that nomad life.
Yeah. Roger again, Roger White. Question to you both. You have a full tank. Tomorrow off and you're free. The weather is good. The bike is yours. Where do you go? So you've got a day on the bike tomorrow. Where'd you go? No ties at all. But it's a day.
But if it's a day, I don't know. See, the thing that threw me off was that you got a tank of petrol. I'm going to get 100 miles tomorrow. So I can only go 100 miles away.
All right,
I can go 50 miles away. I don't have to come back.
Unlimited petrol, but you've got a day.
Unlimited petrol. If I could,
24 hours.
I would like to go Brecon Beacons probably, because I've never been there. I think that's to evolve. Is that not do? Have you been there?
Yeah, of course. It's good. It's all right, but head north. Go north in Wales. North. Brecons is good fun.
Snowdonia.
Yeah. All up around Snowdonia. Great fun.
Can you do Snowdonia and back to London in a day?
Are you taking the mick?
I mean, you can.
Mate, honestly.
But I mean, for mortal people.
From your house.
Normal people.
From your house, Snowdonia, and back to your house, you're probably looking about 500 miles.
Let me have a look.
To do everything.
I'm on Google Maps now.
In fact, I'll tell you.
Do you know what's weird?
I'll tell you right now.
The last place I've entered in Google Maps is Snowdonia National Park. I'm not mucking around.
I've just plotted a route. So you are. Yeah. I've just plotted a route for some friends of mine on Cali Moto, actually, using roads I know and roads from Simon Weir to go from Rikers all the way up to Betsy Coyd, doing a route there, and that's about 350 miles, this route, from Rikers to Betsy Coyd via some twists and turns, a lot of twists and turns. So back to Rikers again, if you did a direct route, you're probably looking about 500 miles.
It's saying about 30, it's saying 6 hours, 7 minutes with avoiding motorways, 239 miles.
Mate.
So yeah, around that.
Yeah, you need to at least double that if you're going to do the good roads and have some fun in Wales. So about 500-600 miles. You can do it, but it's a big day. But you'd have some fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
I've got a perfect bike for it now. Now I've got rid of the African.
Yeah, you got the Cub. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, got on a 250. Just going a straight line across all the mountains.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Do you know, I did a run up to my brother's place up near Perth, and I did it using some of Simon Weir's routes. Well, a lot of Simon Weir's routes, all non-motorway from my out. Well, basically from the turn off of the M25 onto near the A1, and I basically did no motorway for the rest of the journey, and I had such a giggle. It was such a good day. Did it in about, I think it took me about 11, 12 hours to ride up there, but it was awesome. Right. So much fun. So yeah, I think...
I hate motorways.
Yeah, I think I would probably head up to the lakes and sort of southwest Scotland and back and do a proper full 24-hour ride. That's what I'd do. Right, Gavin Fraser, 39. This is for the both of you. What would you think is better for navigating, a proper dedicated sat-nav or your phone? Phone.
I don't know, jury's out, either or. Phone for being cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got some good ones out there. Like the Cali Motos and that. It's quite fun. They do the round trips. But I've got a TomTom 550 as well. A rider, and that's got a round trip feature. Yeah. That's pretty good. I just find that the dedicated sat navs give better junction awareness. That's the major difference.
How do you mean junction awareness?
Like the lanes, the splitting of the lanes, and
for telling you which lane you need to be in.
Yeah, the visuals. I find with some of the phone apps, it's a bit guess. If you're not, you have to really get used to them before it's like, oh, should have gone down there. Whereas with the dedicated ones, they're a bit split up better.
John, you're one of these people, aren't you? That if the sat nav told you to turn left, and you turned left, and it took you off the edge of a hill, off a cliff, into the sea, you'd be like, well, the sat nav told me to.
Fault. Yeah, guaranteed. I'm going to sue someone else's fault.
I'm a proper. And I am not, promise you, saying this because Cali Moto are a sponsor, but I'm a proper phone convert now. I used to love the sat-navs, but to me, the phone just seems it reacts quicker to traffic. To me, the dedicated biking apps that are out there, they just seem to create better routes. I think there is a knack to reading them and plotting the route, especially with Cali Moto, and I'll be doing a vid on that soon. But there is a knack on how to plot your route using these apps. But I just think and having your phone with you, the phone just does everything there and then. You know, it's good.
I mean, I'm saying I've got as I said, I've got the TomTom rider, but I've got that before I got the apps. If I hadn't bought that, I wouldn't have bought it after the apps. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now I use it. Now I use the apps. The apps are good enough that you don't need that. Mm-hmm. But if you want one hardwired to your bike, it's very easy to get on with.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Like for the GS, there's actually, you can get these. Again, I'm going to do a little vid on it soon, but you can get this little adapter on Amazon. It's like 20 quid, 25 quid, and it just slots straight into where the sat nav, the nav 5 or nav 6, nav 7 for the BMW, where that would normally clip into on the BMW range. sat-nav mount. This just clips straight in it, and then you can just clip your phone in and it charges straight off the bike. It's amazing bit of kit. That. It's awesome. And it's like 20 quid, 25 quid. So I've
also got that Beeline sat-nav to review.
Yeah,
just turned up, so stick around on my channel for that one.
or use Kalimoto. No, I've seen that Beeline actually, and
or if Kalimoto send me a freebie where I can use all the features on it, then yes. But up until then, no.
Or if you contact me, John, I'll send you a link for a month's free trial of the premium features. Anyway, enough.
I've had a month. It is very good. I have to admit, it's very good.
Right, next one. Come on. GD Shui. My question for both of you is, would you shave off the soup catcher, the beard, if it meant you could have a full head of flowing locks? No, I've had no hair since 2021. I've shaved it really short from about the age of 20, and certainly since I've been in the old bill, so since about 2004 since about 24, 25, I shaved all my hair off. So I'm happy with the beard.
I shave my head. I've shaved my head quite a lot. Beard comes and goes. I only shaved it off because I was in over my shoulder? Shark GT, which is quite close to the beard. When it was really hot, it just felt really uncomfortable because I'm quite claustrophobic. So I felt uncomfortable, so I shaved it off. But with the adventure style, it's fine. Hair-wise, got some.
Hippie.
But I have shaved it off. Probably
not there's anything wrong with hippies.
I started shaving it. Are we going to go down that road we went down on the last podcast, or are we going to leave it?
What was that? Oh,
no, don't mention it.
That was the challenge, wasn't it?
It was a challenge.
Right, go on.
Are we going to do the challenge?
What was it again?
The challenge was we raise a shave.
We'd had a lot to drink by this point.
Hair, that is. We raise a shave the head on Halloween, 31st of October.
Yeah.
Halloween. And then we don't touch it, not even trim it, till, was it April Fool's Day?
Yes, it was.
I think it was April Fool's Day. Yeah.
Right, you're on.
Yeah,
let's
April
do it.
Fool's Day.
Right, let's do it.
Shave it. So we're going to shave it 31st of October, razor shave the head bald, and then not even allowed a haircut, trim, style, anything, apart from normal gels and combing and that.
Gel?
To the 1st of April.
What about the beard?
Yeah, well, if you had hair, you'd know about gel.
I remember gel from when I was like 11, 12.
The beard, you can do what you want with.
Okay, fair enough.
Do what you want with the beard.
Right.
So you can have a trim it, or obviously you're not going to, but you can have a trim it, style it.
Because I'm not weak.
Do anything you want. But no, because I'm not compensating.
Can't argue with that.
No, but from the top of the ears, up, don't touch. Because obviously sideburns are part of the beard, aren't they? So you can do what you want.
Right, that's a challenge. Let's do it. Halloween. Right, motorcycle meanderings for you both. Will you get to my question? Yes, we did. Now, motorcyclist, if you
skip that one.
Yeah, if you were in charge of a motorcycle company, one of the biggies, what next trend would you be steering towards? What current fad would you be keen to kill off? Electric.
What would I be steering towards?
Electric.
Everything chargeable. As in, you can do your phones and everything have a charger. Every single bike in my range would have a charger, bar none, from 50cc up.
What, as in charger for your phone and for electrical devices and stuff? All right,
for your phone and everything, Bluetooth and everything connectable. I think that's the way it should go. So you can have a Bluetooth connectivity on any vehicle in my range. That's what I'd go.
Yeah.
Make it a bit safer.
I'd go electric.
What was the other part of it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Trend steering toward, and what current fad would you be keen to kill off?
White race boots. White race boots. Unless you're someone like Valentino Rossi, you shouldn't be wearing white race boots.
Yeah, you need to be quick.
Fine. If you're on a track, that's fine.
You need to be quick.
If you're on a track, that's fine. But if you're on the road, you wear white race boots and you've got chicken strips that are like 4 inches wide, half park your bike up and go home.
Right, likeable rider. Question for us both: do you wipe front to back or back to front? Back to front, I think.
I'll have to ask the butler. That's all I can say. Left to right. That'll freak him out.
Nick and Knutsford, Johnny Cash or Bob? Oh yeah, Johnny Cash or Bob Dylan. Now we spent a lot of time on this the last time, didn't we? We got into a discussion about music.
I don't really listen to either, so I would say Bob. I said Bob Dylan because I think he's cooler.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
I'll give you that. Yeah,
that's the only reason.
I think I probably know more Johnny Cash songs, but I think Bob Dylan is. Although Johnny Cash is pretty cool. Johnny Cash is quite a cool guy, or was quite a cool guy. Don't know. Bit our time. Dunno. Photo or biking? Does fast food really exist? Think about it. Oh, I can't think about that.
Depends which restaurant and what you class as fast, I suppose.
Right, last question from Instagram. Nick Holmes 4932. Tell us about your crashes.
Your mum. My mum's definitely not a nun.
We all know that. Lay by A24.
Unless it comes to pocket money, because she didn't give me none.
Right, come on. Tell us about your crashes.
Right, let's go quickly through them.
We're nearly into tomorrow, so come on.
Right, first bike, 125. I flipped it wheeling in front of some girls, didn't go down too well. I then crashed the same bike when a girl pulled out in front of me, and I did the man thing of asking how she was, simply because she had hot pants and a bikini top on.
Oh, happy days.
She looked really good, and although it was her fault,
how is Mrs. Fish? Like, you all right? Mrs. Fault. Fish is okay, yeah?
She's better. Shh, don't mention
it. Same with Mrs. Teapot.
It was pre-Mrs. Fish, so it was free, so it's fine. Major crashes, I had 750 SS Ducati, where a guy pulled out in front of me, then froze, so he blocked the whole lane, and I was expecting him to go out the way, so I T-boned him, smashed his back wheel off with my knee. I think I broke his suspension, chased him up the road as he ran away. Then I collapsed after the adrenaline kind of failed on me. He said, "Why were you running off?" I said to him, sorry, I get this right. I said, "Why were you running away?" He said, you killed my car and then you ran after me. What was I supposed to do? So that was about one. Then my major crash was, I've got a video on it, 24 hours. I think it's called My Crash, My Story. So go over to my channel and then check that out. It's basically how I was following a guy. He didn't make the proper indications. I clipped him, I went through a wall, lost my life a little bit, punching my lungs, the ribs, tore my collarbone out, had a massive crash, and came back to life. And this is the bollocks you got to put up with now. I think that about sums it up quite quickly.
Are you quite done?
Your turn.
Are you done?
Yep. Your turn.
I had a paper cut once.
Oh no, mine wasn't as bad as that.
Paper cut really hurt.
Paper cuts are the worst.
Hurt. Yeah, I've had
I once called an air ambulance for a paper cut.
You probably did, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I'm not even joking.
Oh, good God. Go on and tell me that story.
No, I didn't. I'm just fucking around. I'm not going to call an air ambulance for a paper cut, am I?
I don't know.
It was a stubbed toe.
It was an ouchie finger. Oh no!
Yeah, that's it.
Everyone knows
about the remote.
Everyone knows about my crashes. Okay. I've had a few, and hopefully, I've learned from each one. And now I ride like an old man. But I will. C'est la vie. Yeah.
There's no point in crashing if you don't learn from it.
Yeah, I think I've never knowingly ridden above my abilities. It's just that my abilities didn't quite reach what my expectations at the time were.
Yeah, I get that. I've never ridden above my abilities. I've ridden above the abilities of the other drivers. That's the problem.
Nah, for me, I wasn't as good as I thought I was, and it's bit me in the arse. And I think probably, I think now I'm probably more hesitant than I need to be, but I'm more comfortable erring on the side of caution now, whereas before I used to be like, fuck it, it'll be all right.
The thing is, in a crash, it's luck. That's all it is in a crash. It's luck. You could fall off your side stand and break your leg. Mm-hmm. You can crash at 120 miles an hour and come away with nothing. 100%. It's luck.
100%.
I wouldn't say test that theory out, but it is luck. It is luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as I said, I think I said to you last time, the nurse said to me when I was bitching and moaning, because I punctured me like, why me? Why is it always me? And she said, you never know. You could have got to the next junction and been wiped out by a lorry. So that crash may have saved your life in the long run. That's what she said. And that stuck with me. So it's kind of a positive spin on the negative situation.
Did she also say, are you that bloke from the lay-by on the A24?
She said, do you know TeapotOne? I mean, yeah.
So did the nurse also say, are you that bloke from the A24 lay-by? You've got to laugh now. Laugh.
Oh.
we had some,
I don't know what we're doing then.
We had some camera issues. The first time it was hilarious.
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
I mean, people were queuing up outside just laughing. It was so good, that joke. It was just spot on. No, she said, Mr. Yeah, apart from that, she said, it's not really appropriate for you to be naked in the ward at the moment. That's what she said to me, to be honest.
Wow. And what a way to end the podcast. Right, dude, that's got to be us because we're nearly tomorrow. My wife's in bed, your wife's in bed.
Yeah.
I've nearly drank like 2 and a bit gallons of Stella, and I'm ready for a fight.
Yeah, you're due for a fight now, aren't you?
Put him up. Right, dude, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we round it all up?
No, only you to say thank you for inviting me on the podcast. I really appreciate it. It's good talking and hanging out with you again, mate.
Absolutely, man. It really is. Absolutely. And listen, I hope we can do the off-roading thing because I obviously I'm a little bit tentative around off-roading, and I know you know what you're doing, so it would be great to meet up and get a little bit of help.
I wouldn't say I know what I'm doing. I kind of wing it. That's my style.
Don't say that.
Wing
don't
it.
say that. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
No. Seriously, if you've ever been out with it, you will find out that I'm completely winging it. All I've learned is pin it.
Mate, I'm going to make...
That's the only technique I know.
I'm going to make you look like Lyndon Poskett, honestly.
No.
Speaking of which, I might have him coming on the podcast soon. We're getting a little...
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm dying to have a good chat with him. Seems a real good geezer. Thank you very much, Dario, for putting us in touch.
Yeah, he knows his shit, let's say.
Absolutely.
Very good YouTube channel. Races to Places is one of my favourites.
Yeah, definitely.
I have to say. It really is.
100%.
Inspiring.
Right then, dude, that'll have to do us, mate. I'm nearly running out of SD cards.
Cool, yeah. I'll have to try and send these over to you. It cost me about £6,000 in WeTransfer.
What, you got to pay?
Evidently, yeah.
Nah, use Google OneDrive or Google Drive. It's free.
Now I've signed up to it.
Oh, mate, you haven't. Andy did this. TMF did this. No one else has ever paid for it.
All
right. Well,
what's it? Google what?
Google OneDrive.
I don't know why. I went Yodely then for some reason.
We'll discuss this after. Let's finish this, and then we can discuss this.
Let's get this done.
Folks, if you have not checked out John's channel for whatever reason, on YouTube it's Chronicles of Mr Fish. On Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter, it's the official Mr Fish. Is that right?
Yeah,
I'll put links.
I think Facebook's Chronicles of Mr Fish. I don't really use Facebook that much.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Why
like
make it easy?
It's got something to do with fishes.
Folks, I will put the links. If you're listening to the podcast, check out the show notes. If you're watching the YouTube video, look at the description. There'll be links to John's channel there. Make sure you give him a subscribe, a like, a follow, all of the above. Some cracking content coming out on there. John, we've got lots of stuff coming up together, mate. We'll make sure we're going to do quite a bit. Maybe not the rest of this year, but certainly into 2021. We've got some stuff. I'm taking you to Germany. We're going to do Ireland. I'm going to get you on the Nürburgring. We'll have some fun.
Cool. Lovely. Look forward to it.
All right, dude.
And the Pornhub stuff. Don't forget the Pornhub stuff.
Obviously, can never. And I will see you at the lay-by on the A24. Absolutely.
That's right.
Dude, love to the family. Look after yourselves.
Cool.
Cheers, man.
Take it easy. Thanks for inviting me.
My pleasure, mate. My pleasure. Right, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I am tired. I am drunk. But what can I say? I've been saying we're going to get out of this, but we're still in it, aren't we? This madness is still continuing. Who knows? But whatever is happening, look after those that you love. Get on out there. Do your thing. But most of all, live your life. Woo-ha!